All right. Short live, and I mean short. Um, Let me get this all lined up real quick. We missed some things last night, so I want to go over those real quick. I want to say we missed them, but I think I need to emphasize them, emphasize some situations. Don't forget to take out your trash cans. Okay, so why is Alexa telling me to take out my trash cans? No, it's not. Sorry, I don't have an answer for that. I know. Alexa, can you stop? Alexa, buy Amazon. I can help you shop for everyday items. Try saying things like, order double A batteries. Isn't that crazy? Reorder paper towels. Yep. I don't need to reorder paper towels right now. Okay. So let me hurry up and get this lined up here. Um, as you know, there was a very interesting balloon party yesterday. Let's just call it that. And everybody had their say on how this guy, let's just call him Blue Blazer, and from I think yeah, that that's what Ghost was saying, is that it looks like a Blue Blazer from Ross, which it did. But let's let me break down something, because I don't think it's very important for some things that women should pick up, so you don't get into a situation which is all bad. So let me hurry up and get this ready. I think I'm all right. So how's everybody's Sunday going, by the way? So yeah, so basically the thing is that um, you cannot discount, the red pill vibe or anything like that, um, because they're the most prominent. Sugar love in the house. It's the most prominent um, narcissistic choice men make, and and believe it or not, of course, it's not everybody in hip hop, but hip hop has always been built on misogyny. So just like the manosphere, so you have to take heed to that. You have to think about that. But before we do that, I think I'm going to kick the beat. I'll kick the beat for a minute. Wait, nah, everybody's showing up quick. I just keep going. But anyway, sorry about that. Um, Let me start off by playing just a few minutes, a few seconds actually, of Rebel Fizz. That's her name, Rebel Fizz, the cute young lady that was dissed primarily, I believe, because she turned down the guy first. But that's beyond the point. Let me bring her up on the screen. She's so cute. Okay, let me bring her up on the screen. And there she is. That's Rebel. And let me move this over here too. You know what's weird is like StreamYard be showing stuff weird sometimes, not the way I want it. There we go. So let's hear a few minutes of what she has to say, and then I'm going to move forward. Here we go.
So episode 61 of Pop the Balloon aired yesterday, and y'all probably saw that Arlette posted a reel of the scene where the man in the blue coat tells me that I'm not his type because of my hair and that he prefers longer hair. And then Sandy, the model, clearly had a reaction to that and, goes off on him. I don't know how else to phrase it right now. And
I'll pause it right there for now anyway. I would say that she didn't go off. She just showed up. That's what I would call it. Angela Reddick in the house. She just showed up. I believe that's probably the best way to put it. And so I want to play this because this is going to be the important part of the live stream. I mean, not the important part, but a part of the live stream. And I guess I'll bring up a little smidge of that. Pop the balloon. Let me get that lined up too. Oh, that's a cool looking. Okay, let me stop that right there. Okay. And that. Where did I put that? That's there. Okay, here we go. And so I'm going to play that spot off just for 1 second. Just so everyone that may have, the one or two people who may have not, one or two people who may have not seen it, see it. Here we go. Now, let me. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is that narcissists love situations like this. They actually love. Okay, not that guy because he was actually tolerable. Here we go. They love a situation where they feel like they have a choice. And as you can see, we have these beautiful ladies on stage of different shades, different, shapes, personalities. And there's a lot of things that were definitely missed yesterday that, I mean, not missed. They're not missed. I can't say that because the panel was too good, but maybe not gone over in depth, and probably because I don't know. When we got to this, it was like hour number 4. So, but let's move forward some more. And there is the gentleman right there. Let's listen to him for a second, and let's listen to his interaction with Rebel, and then I'm going to play something that's going to be very important. It has to do with covert narcissists. Here we go.
We help to inspire individuals to be fit for life.
Nice.
On all aspects, including financial, physical, emotional, and then also spiritual.
Okay, very nice. So what are some things you like to do for fun?
I like to travel. Very outgoing. Love sporting events. I like beach. Very outdoorsy. I love food.
Okay.
And
okay, let me move forward. Okay. Well, we want to hear the balloon popping. So
someone that's promiscuous.
All right. Okay, so we did get some pop balloons.
Okay.
Undervalued.
Yesterday, Ghost said that he was projecting. I think so too, because I don't know about you, but when you go on a first date, this is sort of emulating like a coffee date in a way, and you don't want to bring up
someone who takes health and wellness, a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is kind, someone who is compassionate, someone who is also driven to, always be progressing in whatever it is that they're doing.
Nice. Okay. And now what are some deal breakers?
Someone that smokes cigarettes, someone that undervalues, self-care, someone that has a lot of unhealed traumas, and someone that's promiscuous.
All right. So that's the funny part is it seems like, why would you bring something up like that? People are, the venue does not look, I mean, it's not like pop the booty or nothing like that. It's pop the balloons. These are looking for love. It's called pop the balloon or find love. If people are finding love, they're not finding promiscuity. So that was kind of weird how he brought that up. To me, that was kind of like the first dig. That's what stuck out to me. So let's keep going. Here we go. Okay, so we did get some pop balloons. Let's go on over there and see why they ended up popping. We'll start here. Okay. Your name and age. So remember now, he's sort of already kind of, he's lost a couple young ladies already. The first two here already, and that's not always good. Except especially if one of those two were the ones that you wanted. So I think he may not know it now, but he's already starting to lose the room. And losing the room is a comedy, is also also used in comedy a lot. I used to long story, never mind. Anyway, basically the situation is this: when you're a comedian and you're doing your set, and I'm not a comedian, but I've been around a few, and you're starting to lose the room. And I mean, there's other ways you can do that. When you're trying to influence a room, you're trying to make them laugh and all that kind of stuff. And there's a point where sometimes maybe your jokes don't hit. And if it happens more than once during a joke run, like you don't hit 3 times in a row, why seeking knowledge in the house? Then you're losing the room, because you're not, if you don't make people laugh, promoters or venue owners are not going to call you back. So let me keep going. Here we go. So in my opinion, he's losing the room right here.
Hi, I'm Rebel and I'm 31.
And Rebel, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
For me, it's not that I'm promiscuous. I think.
And she said that because I feel she said that. Obviously she may think different, but she picked up on the same thing I picked up. That was a weird thing to say in a venue like this. That's like, you just don't, it's a weird thing to say. Nobody's going to say, so are you promiscuous on a first date? So for him to say that, that's all what would you call it? The force, the senses are working. The senses are working.
I think just the initial attraction is the biggest thing. Yeah.
Initial attraction, a lot. I think those throws a lot of guys off. It doesn't mean just the way you look. It's the way you speak, the way you stand, the way you feel you're commanding the room. And a lot of times what happened is that he thinks it's the way he looks that's bothering her, and which may have prompted his response, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that he didn't keep it classy, and here we go.
Yeah.
And now, is she someone that's your type?
Not so much.
Okay. And why not?
I'll say more so like the hair. So more so attracted to longer hair. Okay. Yeah.
And as you know, last time we went over a lot yesterday, including Femi, who is a hairstylist. She came on the show yesterday and she broke it down. Like, women's hair can be whipped and dipped, dashed and lashed many different ways. So for you to go after a woman's hair was very interesting, because I think it was because he knew there was nothing else he could go after her for. She is obviously fit, feminine, and friendly, and basically gorgeous. And if you look, Femi brought this up yesterday, is that if you were to stretch out her hair, it would probably go all the way down to her shoulders. So at least mid neck. And so this pattern he has continued. But I wanted to stop for 1 second and go back over here and bring up this video here, because this is the important part. We never talked about narcissism that much yesterday. We mentioned it, we went over it, but let's go over it a little bit more deeper today. So here we go right now. Here we go.
The word narcissist typically brings to mind someone who loudly brags about themselves and craves attention. But did you know that there's another kind of narcissist who is just as manipulative and arrogant, but harder to spot? They're called covert narcissists.
And it's important for me to bring this up because this is basically, I'm trying and making sure to take the name calling out of this short live and to bring in a more of an understanding of what you're dealing with, because it's extremely important for you to understand who you're dealing with more so than whether you like them or not. And I know it sounds weird and call me a snitch for men, but that's too bad. It's important, the level of femicide these days. This is an important tool you need to have. So basically, and that has nothing to do with the multiples of disrespect and abuse. But anyway, let's get past that for a second. Let's go over this situation of a covert narcissist. This is what I believe this man fits the most. A covert narcissist is they're not obviously insultive all the time. They like to lurk in the shadows. They like to insert alias here's in the house. Good seeing you. Why seeking knowledge in the house? And so basically they lurk their abuse. Their abuse is muted. That's the best way for me to put it. So let me keep going. Here we go.
Unlike the more obvious and grandiose type of narcissist who flaunts their ego openly, covert narcissists do it in a subtle and sneaky way.
Exactly. And this is what I picked up yesterday, and not necessarily our panel yesterday. In fact, our panel did quite well. We did quite well picking this up. But I've gone to other channels, and they didn't pick this up at all. They didn't pick up his narcissism at all. And so here we go. This is why I want to show you. Here we go.
They hide their self-absorption and superiority complex behind a facade of humility, shyness, or even victimhood. So we created a video to help you identify covert narcissistic behaviors so you can be more aware and handle them better. Now let's delve into some of the things that covert narcissists always do. The thinnest skin of all.
Very important part. As you know, let's go back over here. Covert narcissists do not take rejection well at all. They don't take jokes about them well at all, whether they respond at that time or not. At all.
How do you respond when someone criticizes you? You may feel hurt, rejected, and embarrassed, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong in feeling that way, and sometimes the negative feedback isn't true at all and is purposefully delivered to shatter your sense of self-worth. However, there is something amiss when you're extremely sensitive to criticism. According to psychiatrist Glenn Gabbard, in comparison with their grandiose counterparts, covert narcissists tend to possess the thinnest skin and are super sensitive. They are easily triggered and feel offended whenever they receive real or perceived criticism.
Exactly that. Let's keep it going.
Criticism pushes covert narcissists to either be defensive with a growing sentiment of quiet superiority or withdraw with sulkiness. They believe they are perfect and cannot understand that someone does not view them in the same light. Covert narcissists truly feel that they are the center of the universe, and they conceal how affected they are by negative feedback by not showing it as much as an extroverted narcissist. Silent smugness. Research published in the American Journal of Psychiatry.
Go back over this item right here. Let's hear how it goes down now.
I think just the initial attraction is the biggest thing. Yeah.
See here.
Yeah.
And now, is she someone that's your type?
Not so much.
Okay. And
Yeah.
why not?
I'll say more so like the hair. So more so attracted to longer hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And there goes the room. This set him off. Just because his demeanor was calm does not mean he is not furious. But unlike other narcissists, he's knowing the element he's in, he was able to hold it together, which for a narcissist is a good thing to be able to do, because it allows you to keep your job. It allows you to maybe, unfortunately, in some way, take advantage of people because they don't think you're mad. So he basically lost the room, and she's like, holy moly, what's going on here? Because everybody's popping a balloon. She thought it was about, he was dissing her. But what he didn't know is that all of the ladies in that room, if it had to do with hair, which really it didn't, it doesn't, they all have the same hair. And they also know that she's an exotical, and if he's going to give an exotical that much smoke, then they're going to get smoke too. And he did not disappoint. He came with that smoke. So let me stop that there, because I want to go fast forward to the point where now here's a woman here who has long hair. She has long hair. Skin is popping, beautiful, slim. But even though she has all that going for herself, listen to what happened.
The chemistry, unfortunately. Yeah. And now, is she someone that's your type?
No.
And why not?
Again, I'm very particular.
Okay.
So I think just, the body type would be more.
She it's not the body type he's talking about. Yes, insert alias here. She is gorgeous. He is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. I mean, her skin is popping. There's a situation in this. These are some beautiful women here. These are some beautiful women. And instead of just saying, yeah, she's just not my type, even if he was angry, and she is his type, because if you notice, she's got long hair. Like that was the first thing that came out of his mouth. So yeah, she's got long hair. Okay. Beautiful smile, excellent skin. So you notice this is what a lot of narcissists do. They literally contradict themselves a lot. I would say that at least 80% of the men in prison have some sort of narcissistic disorder or something like that, because that's usually what gets them in trouble. And so what I love is the ladies are not having it. They're not having it. They are not having it. This is like, oh, well, this is a wrap. They know these are some emotionally intelligent women. And it's funny because a lot of people, men and women, thought this young lady right here was triggered. And see, that word is really weird, because what if somebody is passionate and just stating their point or defending somebody, that's not being triggered. Triggered is what's happening with this guy right here. He's triggered because out of all of these beautiful women, he didn't compliment, and this is what nobody picked up. He did not compliment any of them on anything about anything. He didn't interact with them about their personality. He didn't ask them about their what their life passions are, or anything like that. Basic dating questions, he didn't even get there. That's the crazy part. He didn't even ask them basic dating questions. So what if they pop the balloon? If you're a confident, it is megaphone time. It is megaphone time in the house. Pretty Black Magic in the house. Let me tell you, if the thing is this, a normal man and a man with confidence, or an alpha man, he ain't tripping off of no balloons popping. He ain't tripping off of no balloons popping. He understands that, he might have hit the room wrong or something like that. He's going to try to, with what, 10 gorgeous women in front of me? Oh, shoot. Look, okay, I'm a try. I'm a try. Because they're gorgeous, beautiful, and maybe I just need to have a further conversation with them to change their mind. I have seen on this thing where they will take back a balloon. They will bring a blown up balloon back. So basically, this is what went down. He didn't care. He wanted to burn down the whole house, and he kept doing it. So after and I'm trying to make this short and fast as quick because we want to get to Rebel. This is what went down here.
More so what it would have to do with. So, yeah.
Nice. No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's saying that doesn't like, he's insinuating that she's not in shape. And as you can see, she's in shape.
Going over here, your name and age.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I'm 30.
So Sandy, she ain't taking this shit. She ain't taking this shit sitting down. And instead of people saying, "Wow, she's really just telling him what time it is." She's telling him, back in the day we would call it, she's telling him about himself. She's telling him about himself, and this is what went down. This is how it went down.
33.
And Sandy, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
I ended up popping it because you're attractive, you got it going on. But that comment about hair, I know your mama got short hair too. She's Black. At the end of the day, Black women, you don't know what to expect with our hair. We could wear it straight, we could wear it curly, and that was just like too much for me. So I don't got time for it. If you don't know, if you can't grow up from your roots, then you can't grow up with me. So that's how I feel.
Bars. Now, where's the triggered part that everybody is trying to make this into? I don't see it. I do not see it. But here he comes.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
I mean, my mom's actually on my necklace. She doesn't have short hair, for one.
It doesn't matter. It's about.
She doesn't either. And the last woman you turned down didn't either. And the one before that didn't have short hair either. But they found his comment superficial, fake. And that's not for finding love. I think he really, quite honestly, in my opinion, I don't think he ever found love, ever. Well, how's that song go? Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? Okay, let me shut up. let me shut up. Here we go. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you to the show. Let's see what he says.
And
who you are as a brother. Hair don't make your personality. You dig me? It's about who you are. If you confident with short hair, long hair, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of girls that do have long hair, the hairs be thin. I have a salon. When I was 16, I brought my mother a salon with my business that I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have dealt with so many different type of hairs. Shout out to my mom. Captivated Styles in the building. Philly, we here. But what you said.
And it's funny because she should do that. She should shout out for her mom and get some business, because this is a wrap already. They already know this dude right here. And I commend these ladies so much, because they were not having it. They're not having this, well, maybe he's nice. Maybe no, they were like, this dude is he's and see, instead of him, he could have, believe it or not, he could have saved the room. All he needed to do was apologize. If you noticed, he didn't do that. It doesn't matter that he has a right to a preference. He does. You have a right to say whatever you want, but you have a right to insult people. I mean, that's just what happens in the United States. But it doesn't mean that those people have to respond to you positively still. That's the issue that everybody is missing. If he has a right to have a preference, right? They have a right to tell him about himself, right? So anyway, let's go right. I think let me let Sandy finish up, and then we're going to go to Rebel.
It's just not for me. You need to really check on your ends before you talk about long or short hair, because a lot of girls with long hair be having no hair just because it's long is thin. So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't.
So let's go over to Rebel now. Wait, oops, wrong one. Here we go.
Good morning, y'all.
Okay, let me give her just a little bit more volume. So this is Rebel. This is the woman who was first.
Okay, so episode 61 of Pop the Balloon aired yesterday, and y'all probably saw that Arlette posted a reel of the scene where the man in the blue coat tells me that I'm not his type because of my hair and that he prefers longer hair. And then Sandy, the model, clearly had a reaction to that and, goes off on him. I don't know how else to phrase it right now. And I've had quite a few questions come in. So I'm going to address those questions and this whole scenario. So when he initially said that to me, first we need to think about the context real quick. If you saw the full episode, you see that it was me who popped on him.
Okay, so we did get some pop balloons. Let's go.
And when I was asked why I popped, I say initial attraction.
For me, it's not that I'm promiscuous. I think just the initial attraction is the biggest thing. Yeah.
And then Arlette asks him, now, is she your type? He says, no, the hair, I prefer longer hair.
And
yeah, he was lying, but let's keep it going.
Is she someone that's your type?
Not so much.
Okay. Yeah. And why not?
I'll say more so like the hair. So more so attracted to longer hair. Okay. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And
when he said no,
those pops are from the other ladies, and he lost the room.
I'm not his type. What went through my head was, okay, what's he gonna say? What's gonna be the why? Of course, even going into the show, I had kind of thought, what are they gonna call me out for? Whatever you want to call it, call me out for. What are they gonna say is the reason that I'm not their type? And when he said the hair, I prefer longer hair, when all that was done with, I remember okay, that wasn't so bad. You never know how you're going to feel when someone's telling you what they don't like about you or what they're not into about you. But I remember like in that very moment feeling pretty proud of, like, happy with myself that I didn't feel anything, you know?
Bars, and that's how you're supposed to feel. I'm going to drop the link early because this is going to be a short live. So, but also bear with me because I talk a lot. So, here, let me drop this real quick, just in case. Here we go. Okay, so here we go.
I felt like, okay, cool. And I think I was just happy that to feel like, okay, I'm at the place in my life where other people's words don't hurt me, like they would have when I was younger. Because let's be honest, growing up with super curly type 4C hair.
Wait. And see, when look how far down it goes, and she's not even pulling it hard, right? It's already like 3 inches longer. So his shallow ass says, "Oh, I don't like short hair." And as I was expertly told yesterday, her hair ain't really that short.
With super curly type 4C hair, it was a journey. But let's pause on that, and now let's fast forward to Sandy. Well, after he said that all the women pop, and I remember thinking like, oh snap.
Which was the greatest thing ever. Which was the greatest thing ever. I cannot look. I've been around a long time. And how a man treats one woman is usually how a man will treat another woman 99% of the time. Now he, depending on how he values each woman, because he values them different. You can value objects differently, but you can the amount that you value only buys you the amount that he values you only buys you time of respect. And what am I mean by time of respect is the amount of time before he starts bringing up his narcissistic or his negative vibe, his negative attitudes and stuff. So basically, what I'm saying is that that's why since he calls it getting the same black man is that basically after a while if he was a jerk before, the jerk's going to come out maybe in a day. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year. But that evilness usually comes out. That's why a lot of women get caught having a man's child and he bounces, or it doesn't it doesn't work out well, i.e. Tiana Taylor, or i.e. Halle Bailey, or i.e. Kiki Palmer, which they ran into these types of men. We might go over that in a minute. So let's keep going. Here we go.
Snap.
Wait, since Darnell, I got a quick question to ask you before I get back in here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see Rebel, right?
Rebel?
You see Rebel on the screen, right?
Is that the young lady?
Yeah, right here. The young lady you see on the screen, is she attractive to you?
Yes, I'd say she's attractive. She's an attractive woman.
Okay, if everyone in the chat, if you think this young lady that's on the screen is attractive, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, so I just want let me move it forward. Here we go.
I was like, oh snap, this is gonna be something when I heard all of them pop, because one, I've seen past episodes where all the women pop off of something a man says, and typically it's gonna escalate and be something. So I already had that in mind, and then we get to Sandy, and she, starts going at him, and I remember in that moment, I was like, okay, this is not about me. Everything she's saying is not specifically about me. I never felt like this woman or any of the women were specifically standing up for me. This was, in my mind, undoubtedly a much larger thing, you know?
And I would agree with that. A much larger thing. It is the worst. Number one, if this man was truly looking for love, which I doubt he was, but just let's use him as an example. That you have to understand, you don't say things like that. And if you're compelled to say things like that, like he did, and show the type of covert narcissism that he was, he needs to get help. Because the thing about covert narcissism, I mean, the good thing about it is well, they're usually not the very worst. Because of course, after narcissism, there's sociopaths, and then after that, they're psychopaths. But at the same time, the worst thing is they will waste a woman's time like it ain't no time. And that's a huge issue. Here we go.
This was about like just the whole history of Black women's hair, how much.
I think it's just the whole history of Black women, period. Because basically, they're like saying, wait a minute, now my hair is long now, but what if I cut it? And another woman saying, my hair is long now, but what if I want to wear it afro? My hair is long now. My hair is, those women, their natural state of their hair is probably type C hair. And here's the funny part. Here's the ironic part is, aren't these the same dudes who say, oh yeah, I want my woman to be natural? Well, if you want your woman to be natural, I'm sorry, but if it has to do with Black women, you're going to get maybe about 15-20% of Black women will have naturally straight or straightish hair. Otherwise, it's close to type C, because that's just how Black women are built. So for him to say that, the least he could have done is acknowledge, hey, oh, my bad. I just insulted your Blackness, and that's what that he basically did. This is reason why I don't believe he dates Black women. What do you think, Darnell?
Well, as I said in the comments, DJ, in the chat, I was like, I think this is a nothing burger here. I mean, it's one of those things that, okay, everyone has standards. Matter of fact, I was on another panel last night. It wasn't about this episode, but it was another episode. Actually, believe it or not, that this guy, he was a white guy. This is the first time I've ever seen a white guy on the show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he was a short guy, and they already.
Let me ask you this before you continue. Is it a Manosphere channel?
I don't know what he's trying to do with his channel now. He was more he was a travel channel, but I don't know what he's trying to do with it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
They're Manosphere, by the way. They're a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, I don't know what he's trying to do with his channel now. To be honest, he's trying to shift, I think. But anyway, but yeah, so there was the first white guy on the Pop the Balloon show, that I had ever seen. And he was only like, I think he was 5'8" or something like that. And again, women had no issues telling him, "Oh yeah, you're short. I prefer a man that's tall." And I don't feel like
pause it right there, because we're gonna dissect that. Okay. So, can the guy change his height?
No.
Can the woman change her hair?
Sure.
So they're really not. That's kind of like apples and oranges, then, right?
Well, not really. I mean, I've watched the show quite a bit, and man has the wrong pair of shoes on. Yeah, I'm just not feeling those shoes, and they pop their balloon. A man can change his shoes.
This I don't. I grew up in a house, full of women, and I think you missed the shoe boat. You may have missed the shoe boat, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more to do with just. It's not just about the shoes.
The only thing I remember back in the day, I don't know if this is what you're talking about or not, but the thing I remember back in the day, it used to be as a woman, you'd have to look out for. They were told to look out for a man with worn soles on their feet. That was the only thing about when they looked at it.
Basic choice. I mean, that is, but no, it had to do with shoe selection as well, because there is, and it is because I don't know about you, but I just don't go to buy, especially if I'm going out on a date. I just don't go buy any old shoe and just throw it on. I'm looking for something that fits my style, fits the way that and so it has shoes have soul in them. Get it? Shoes, soul.
Yeah.
Get soul. Anyway.
Yep, I get it.
That's not SOLE, but SOUL. No, okay. Let me stop my jokes. Anyway, that's pretty much it. But I understand your nothing burger argument, but I can guarantee you that it's not a nothing burger. I mean, Chris Rock, I think he made a whole. I wouldn't call it a video. It was a whole documentary on hair, and. A nothing burger doesn't get a whole documentary. He did a whole thing about the history of hair, the history of black hair, why black women do this, why black women do that, and so there's some depth to it. And I really believe that he couldn't find anything wrong with her visually, really, except her hair. You see what I'm saying? In his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he did that. If you noticed, and Darnell, if you noticed, I don't know if I went over this yesterday, but if you notice, he did not give any compliments at all to anybody. And I don't know if you were here for the guy before, the guy who was wearing I think he had on a dark, light olive
T-shirt, or maybe he had a polo or.
No, he had a Hawaiian shirt or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
If you notice how he compared to this guy, compared to Blue Blazer, he came off like a prince. He was kind. He was nice. He made sure to give compliments, even if the woman turned him down or not. He was, and I guarantee you, you want to know something? I bet one of them pop balloons he got a date from after the show. Because
it's possible. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I put my money on it because I could see the way that a lot of times that they were looking. The eyes are, what do they call it? The something to the soul. And basically, he was at least respectful, kind, and complimentary. And men will get further with women with that, preferably authentic, than if you were to try any manosphere BS dating, pickup artist line and whatever like that. For a relationship. Okay, so that's why I played the other guy before, because we needed to have some context of a person who behaves decently. Now, in many manosphere areas, they would have saw this guy as a simp. And his representation, because you never know how a person is behind closed doors, but he was a very kind, respectful person. They don't even know these people in the red pill space don't even know that's what traditional looks like. Whether he's really traditional or not doesn't matter, because we've seen how people can switch up. But that's it. The tan. Let's just call him Mr. Olive because he was wearing olive. Mr. Olive came off as a more traditional, respectful man. He leaned a little bit too much on the religion thing, and that's how he lost some of the people in the room. Because, see, and I'll break into that real quick, is the problem when you start saying, "Oh, I love God, I love God, I love God, love God." The people who say that the most, Darnell, are are criminals, former criminals, and crooked preachers. Most other people,
Yep.
that is a feeling. Your love for God is personal. You don't have to tell people. Now, I give athletes a pass because they're paid to say it initially, believe it or not, because especially when you're a black man, it helps diffuse people who may not like your skin color. So that's why a lot of black men, if you've noticed, when they go, "Oh yeah, I pray my praise to God, blah 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 blah," and blah blah. That's basically some of them, but I would say about 50% of them truly wanted to do that. I'm not saying they don't believe in God, but 50% of them truly wanted to do that. But they do it because they know that it might add $1 million to their check. So anyway, let's move a little forward with what she's saying here. Here we go.
I think in general, we have felt insecure about our hair because of society, which is something I can definitely relate to. Growing up, I used to straighten my hair all the time. I remember in middle school swimming, I would try to get out of swimming as much as possible because I didn't want my straightened hair to get curly again. And when I was forced
to what's funny? Her hair is a good 8 inches, maybe 10 inches longer than when it's not when she pulls it out, and that's why the joke's on him. If he, you want to know something? If he was kind, if he was cool and kind to her, because I know he found her attractive. I know he did. Nobody didn't find her attractive. Okay, but if all he had to do is be a normal person, and he might have been out on a date with this woman who looks way better than he does. Okay.
And you also have to. Oh, I'm sorry.
But the point is like she had a friendly smile. So it wasn't like she was like, how the dudes in the manosphere be going, "Oh, she's popping her gums. Oh, she acting ratchet or whatever." She was not. She was not acting ratchet. She was friendly. She was preppy. She was well dressed. She wasn't. She had on more. All of them had on. All were fully clothed. Actually, believe it or not, all those stereotypes they try to pin on black women in the black manosphere. These women they smacked that down because they were all wearing extremely respectable outfits. And in fact, she kind of looked like Mary Poppins in her, just because it was, a fluffy outfit, and I could tell she took a lot of time to pick it out. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The joke's on him because her hair is long. The joke's on him. She reminds me of somebody. I used to date a very long time ago, and her hair could be like this, or it could be down halfway down her shoulders. So, and I'm sure a lot of men know that. So it just shows you how it's not just. And let me reiterate this before we move forward some more. It's not just about her hair. It's about the way he ran the room, trying to pretend that he was trying to find love. Because if you're trying to find love, there are ways that, and I'm not even a dating coach or nothing, but I know there's all you need to do is be friendly and kind, and you'll be shocked how you can turn around some pop balloons. Do you see where I'm coming from? You're 6'2". I'm not. Let's just put it that way. But
6'1". 6'1".
6'1". Oh, sorry. Okay. I've changed minds just by being who I am, being a kind person. And I will not tell you how many times I've heard I usually don't date, guys shorter than 6'1". You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But blah 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 blah, whatever. But that has to do with personality. And the guy appeared to say because he said what he said. People with his kind of pathology lie a lot, but let's say he had everything he said he did. Number one, why are you on the show? If you're coming off as a high value man, why are you on the show? Period. Why would you be there? You'd be too busy with. Why would you go if you already had one of the most beautiful beaches behind you? You literally walk outside your house and you're 50, 100 feet away from the beach and 200, 300 feet maybe away from some waves, right? Why would you get in your car and go to a different beach? Because he doesn't have a beach. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
So he, or at least he's portraying that. Again, I think there's another angle is he might, be going home to Becky with the long hair. So So anyway, that's that. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, what were you going to say?
So I was going to say, as far as the show goes, I don't know how many segments of Pop the Balloon you've seen, but I have to be honest with you. I don't think anyone really goes on the show really to look for love. I mean, the men, the women, I think everyone just tries to get on the show really to get famous.
I truly think the women are looking for love. Women are always looking for love because there's so little of it, especially there's very little love.
I mean, for her, I think it's more common, than what you think. It's just sometimes.
Okay, you've heard the men in the manosphere. Let's go. This is actually a perfect segue. You've heard the men in the manosphere, correct?
Yes.
Now, do they sound like they want to fall in love with a woman?
Majority of them, no.
There you go. Do
But
you think
secretly,
the manosphere represents a large portion of the men in our community?
Represents a large portion of the men. I don't honestly. I really don't think so. I mean, in fact, I think the secret's out now that these red pill content or manosphere content creators are frauds. I think the secrets is out now.
Got it. So, with that said, does it look like to you that if a woman is, don't get me wrong, she's not going to not go to work and look for love. No.
Mm-hmm.
But if an opportunity, even on a show, comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I will admit they're visually handsome men, right? These are some, they're not like on what we see on Kendra G's show. Though I love that damn show to death, right? But we see guys in their tank tops. We see guys, with bonnets on, complaining about women with bonnets. We see everything on that show, right?
Yeah.
And even you went on there, but believe it or not, as you may not think this, but you were probably one of the higher up guys on her show. So,
I gotta disagree with you. I was pretty dusty myself, but I appreciate the compliment.
I'm not here to blow smoke, but if you look on that show, okay, let's name some people names that people know that went on that show. Okay. Well, there's Jay Prince for president. Okay, I think you got him beat. Okay.
Okay.
There was a real short guy who had a light skinned Latin woman that he had pregnant who came on the show. I forgot his name. He was a rapper or something like that, singer rapper. There's that guy, and then was another guy who just got out of who was at a halfway house who already who just had a kid himself, and so you had him beat. So you see where I'm coming from, right?
Yes.
And you don't think, and sometimes you come off as not seeing yourself that highly. So if you're beating all these guys and you don't see yourself highly, which is a different story, which could go on a we could do a whole show on that. But basically, the guys on this show look way better. Okay, they look they're no, I won't say they look way better. Let's just say they're better kept. And they appear to have better jobs and better careers. So with that said, I don't know how we got on Kendra G for 5 minutes, but oh well. Okay, so with that said, we go on this show. The things now, you as a gentleman, as a man, you may not pick up on things that women pick up on, which are subtleties. But they're not really subtle when you think about it. How does a man walk in a room filled with beautiful women? Undisputably beautiful. Okay. And not give one compliment. On a show that, that's one of the customary things is they give compliments. Even when the women turned down the men, if you notice, they gave them a compliment. You're a very attractive guy, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, the only thing with that though is that usually there's a but in there, and anything before the word but is usually, as Game of Thrones would say, is bullshit. So a lot of times.
Okay. Well, let me go on. I gotta move forward. I can't hear
Okay.
Here we go.
Go in the pool. After swimming, I would stay in the locker room.
Okay, I just wanted to reiterate that. Look how long her hair is. The joke's on Blue Blazer. The joke is on Blue Blazer. The joke is on Blue. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, here we go.
And I would skip lunch to straighten my hair. I remember it would always look terrible, but I would even skip class to be in there straightening my hair. So that's just one example. And I remember the one time that I got the confidence.
Let me tell you this. It's not a big deal. Well, it's a big deal. It was a big deal to her because she's still on hair right now, right? Okay. She's telling you the pain she went through, which a lot of other Black women have gone through about their hair. Even though she's trying to make it not seem like a big deal now, because you don't think it would. I mean, I understand it doesn't hit hard at the beginning, but a lot of women have gone through this. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, tell women you're sorry about their kinky hair. No. But understand that there's some shit behind it. I'll tell you. Back to Rebel. Okay. Got it. Here we go.
To wear my hair out, because every single day I either wore my hair straightened or in a ponytail. If it was curly, it was in a ponytail or pigtails 100% of the time. I never wore it without that. I never wore it like this. So there was a day when I had the confidence, I'm going to say I was in 8th grade, to wear my hair like this, just natural. And as soon as I walked in the door, I probably hadn't even been in the school for 5 minutes. And this girl says, like, oh my gosh, your hair is crazy. I headed to the girls' locker room and put my hair in a ponytail and never wore it out again during school. I didn't wear my hair natural like this until I moved to Austin, Texas, where I was around other Black women who had their hair like this. And yeah, which finally gave me the confidence. It took a long, long time. Let me tell you one other thing. Like, I also used to relax my hair. I would get it chemically relaxed. So then it would, it was like to here, long, wavy. And then my hair started falling out because it was over relaxed. So then I go back to Minnesota. My mom cuts my hair, like, basically it was a pixie cut. She cut it like all off because it was all dead. And my boyfriend at the time hated it. Like, he thought it looked like a boy. And that was another time when I had to just kind of work through things. And
now, I'm not asking you to agree, but now do you see the point that those women had in Papa the Balloon? Because she is not the only one.
I mean, I understand. I understand the point. That the women make. Because yes, I'm very familiar, and it's not even just Black men. The hell, the job. They used to use the term "fattish" hairstyle. Let's face it, that was a discriminatory term to describe a Black woman. Or what I meant to say is that was a term when they, to pick on a Black woman, on an employer to pick on a Black woman when they would use the term fattish hairstyle.
Right.
So I mean, I understand, where she's coming from, but like even on the show, like I never had, even yesterday's panel, I never actually had an issue with her. It was the other woman that I felt was just got triggered. I mean, it was just clear to me that she was triggered. She was fine.
I didn't think she was triggered.
Her.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I'll tell you what. We will do a whole show on Sandy herself and debate on her, but we can't stay on her all night. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, but as far as this woman goes, I don't think she. I mean, personally, I thought she took it on that episode. I thought she took it very well.
You have to understand, though. See, Darnell, you have to understand. Just because a person takes it very well doesn't mean that it wasn't an insult, or it doesn't mean that it was meant with a certain level of malice. That's the thing. You can take something well. Hey, look, I can take a left. I got a chipped tooth. I took the punch quite well. I got right back up. You see what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that there wasn't an attempt at damage or something. You see what I'm saying? So I think, and I'm not going. A lot of people might miss that, and I believe you actually speak for a lot of people. Like, well, what's the big deal? And it's a big deal. This woman has been on her hair in this video for the majority of the video, and she's telling you the pain she went through, where basically in so many ways they're telling her you need to not be you. You don't need to be the natural that these men say they're looking for. But she did. That she's telling. I mean, this is a very good learning, process right here. I'll give you a few seconds to talk. Go ahead, and then I'm gonna move forward.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I think both the sexes are guilty of. Are guilty of that. It's just one of those things you just can't take it personal. Like yesterday, I told my stories of how, okay, sometimes a woman would, believe I was a nerd. Hell, one of them posted it on MySpace, back in the day.
Okay, land the plane.
So, but the point is that, I just didn't take it as I just, okay, fair enough. Just like she did in the video yesterday. Hey, fair enough. I'm a nerd.
But you disagree. You disagree, right?
I'm sorry?
You disagree.
What, that I'm a nerd, or?
No, you did. Well, see, that's the problem. See, that's why I didn't want you to talk. I wanted you just kind of like say, I disagree. This is why. That's it.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, No, it's just I'm just saying from a standpoint of
Okay.
you just can't let small things get to you. That's all I'm trying to say.
But that's the point. I'm going to move forward after I say this, and then Deontay, when I stop and take next, please do interject. That's the point. This isn't a small thing, but that's the point.
And that probably made the comment the guy in the blue jacket made even less of a big deal for me. Like, I've had it where I had a boyfriend who, like, basically straight up told me he was no longer attracted to me because my hair was short. So, yeah, this is not something that's new for me to hear.
I mean, she's beautiful bald.
Yeah, my only, like, honestly, from hearing her, because I did see this actual video she put up, not the whole thing, but there's nothing wrong with the way she looks or her hair, but obviously, look, people are gonna have their own personal opinion, but generally, the majority of men who see her are not going to trip on her about her hair, you know. But she has like one of those quirky, bubbly type of personalities. That maybe that might be something that like certain, but not her hair. I mean, her hair is, like I said yesterday, is just like the same issue that black people in general have about our skin. Black women have that about their hair, and we all know that. And when I say that, Darnell, that's really what I meant. Like, I don't know if you know it personally. I just assume that you did. You know, it's one of those unwritten things. We don't teach it nowhere. We just all know that it's a stigma about black women's hair because of the history of it, and we should be sensitive to it because of that. And that's all. I mean, you know what they say about drunk people, angry people, and children. They're the ones who always who say hurtful things out loud to people, and then you got straight up assholes who do it too. So that's what I mean. The dude was being polite. He was being a polite asshole. He didn't have to yell at her, scream at her. She could have had crooked teeth, and he could have said, well, just the teeth. Or he could have just. It's a million ways he could have. He could have just slid past her and said, "No, thank you. I'm not interested." But he did that on purpose to try to attack her.
I just don't see the I just don't see the attack. Like I said, I watched this show.
I'm sorry.
I watched it. I was just saying I watched the show quite a bit, and I mean, there's just always seems to be somebody that is always unhappy with how somebody conducts themselves on the show. Like I can understand if the guy was acting like Aaron the plumber, for example. I mean, that guy was passive aggressive as hell.
No,
on that show.
Aaron the plumber wasn't passive aggressive. He was aggressive. This guy.
Well, I mean, I think he started out passive aggressive, and then it formed, and then he just went. Right. When the women circled him, that's when he got started. His true colors started coming out.
Right.
But if you notice, he kept calling them queen. Yeah, queen. Yeah, queen. He didn't really mean. He wasn't really giving them a compliment.
Right. No, he wasn't. No, that's usually what I mean from a guy of his past. That's usually what it's that fake response. But let's let Betterments talk because we want to definitely get a woman's point of view on this situation. Welcome, Betterment.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Sounds good.
Yes,
ma'am. First of all, I want to say happy belated Juneteenth to everybody. I heard about this situation. I think it's sad because it speaks on the guy's low self-esteem and how he viewed himself as a Black man. Black women has been saying this all along, especially in like the divestment community, how Black men just nitpick them on their look, on their hair, on their skin tone, on their featureism. And it also goes to show what partners black men pick. It's usually the lighter skinned black women if they have like long straight hair, or they go for Latina or white women. And they usually put black women down saying, all these negative stuff. I'm not going to even say anything because it might not be appropriate for this live stream, but it goes to show the low self-esteem in men. They will say that they want natural hair, just not just hair, but natural in general on a woman. But when they get that, that they then put her down, saying that she doesn't even look good enough or she's not enough. And to me, it's like you guys are confusing the women about how she should look. You want somebody that looks natural, but you're going for the women wearing the wigs and the weave. And, you want women that are not ladylike. So it's kind of like they say that they want a woman that is, how can I say it, that has class, but they go after the women that don't have class. So to me, that's kind of confusing, and this is why women should not listen to men when it comes to dating relationships or what they want, because these men do not know what they want. And it's including this man right here, because when all the women pop their balloons, he insulted them right off the bat. So that's, that's all I have to say on that.
Well said. I'd like to kick out some shout outs. Obviously, Betterment is here, Deontay is here, Darnell is here on stage. Appreciate you guys being up here in the chat. J Rags, welcome. Angela Reddick's in the mix. And also, we have insert alias here in the mix. This is going to be a great night. Brina West is here now. Why Seeking Knowledge. And Pretty Black Magic stepped through. And if you haven't been to her channel, you need to go to her channel. Pretty Black Magic, if you're still here, definitely put your link in the chat. I love her content. I love it. So anyway, let's it's you just got to go see it. And of course, Sugar Love is here as well. Sugar Love, I hope everything is cool and smooth. And Miss RV is in the house as well. Miss RV says this: they are lying kings, and I don't listen to anything they say. Okay, here we go, guys. We're gonna start. Here we go.
But yeah, from there, so I cut all my hair off, and then I was planning to get it relaxed again once it grew out a bit more. And there was this black woman who had her natural hair, and she told me, like, girl, I think you should keep your natural hair. And she told me, like, for her, it's been a journey, but what she knows is that, like, she loves her hair in all of its forms. She has good hair days and bad hair days. Sometimes her hair is acting awesome. Sometimes she just wants to throw a hat on. Sometimes she puts it in a ponytail. Sometimes a hairband. But no matter what, like, it's her hair and it's what God gave her, and she loves it. And that has stuck with me forever. And since then, I have worn my natural hair. So that was like 4 years ago. So it was only 4 years ago that I started wearing my hair natural. All that is to say, I kind of feel like that type of thing is where Sandy was coming from.
Right.
And obviously, that was just my story, but I know that I think a lot of Black women are going to be able to relate to that. Like our hair, just feeling like our hair is not good enough or not, it doesn't meet the beauty standards. So yeah. So Sandy goes off about all that, and like I said, I was just kind of there like, oh snap. And I remember just feeling like I don't want to be in the middle of this. And that was kind of that. Okay, now I'm going to go for my run. I think I'm going to leave it there. Okay, I'm back from my run and out of the shower, and 2 things that I will add real quick. 1, spreading hate of any kind is not cool. Like, people hurt people. Anyone who's going on anyone's Instagram or social media and telling them that they hate them or that they're a terrible person or that they're a disgrace, like, that says a lot about the person spreading the hate, not about the
Bars.
person receiving it. So if you're one of those people, I would look within and ask yourself why you feel the need to like tear other people down. 2, like
This are the Lion Kings.
anyone's reaction is always based on their own past experiences. I think in that whole scenario, like, as I mentioned, I don't think that this was about me specifically. I don't think it was about the guy in the blue jacket specifically. This was about a ton of other things. Yeah, so I will say I don't think it was fair for this man to get all that heat, because really it wasn't. I don't think it was about him. I think it was about just society.
Well, we went over it. It's kind and nice that she said that, but we went over his personality type already. And he's a perfect example of somebody a woman should stay away from.
And like all
Right.
the past stuff that has been there surrounding Black women's hair, as I mentioned. And then 3, of course, Black women can have natural long hair. Like, I feel like I don't even need to speak on that. I think that what she was saying, like, there's a lot more to it, and I'm not going to speak for her, but I will just leave it at, yes, Black women can naturally have long hair. Both of my sisters have long, natural, curly black hair.
Oh, I understand that, but I think we can make a good guess, and probably both of her parents were either mixed themselves, or she had, um, a mixed couple. So yeah, of course, by gene wise, that is true. But I would say that probably about 80, like I said, 80% of Black women probably have type C hair. So if these men want something else, if they say they want long hair and I mean, the thing is this, like I said, she has long hair right now. So it may not sit long, but it's long hair. As you saw, she pulled it out and she could literally touch her shoulder still.
Yeah,
So the problem,
they, they want the women that have those big afros that just that stands on your shoulder. They want those type of Black women with that long hair. They don't want they're not looking for the Black woman that has short hair like her, because they don't find that attractive, like she's saying. And I can hear the emotion in her voice. I can hear the hurt in her voice, how that man's comment affected her. And
right,
to be honest with you, I feel very bad for her that she had to go through that with this guy that is self-hating.
right. And
Well,
that's
I mean,
and that's
sorry.
what Sandy's point was really, because she didn't say, yeah, you're self-hating. She put it in a very articulate way on why he's self-hating without saying he was self-hating. But that's what I got from Sandy's conversation, like, and the fact that he was a hypocrite as well.
I just think I don't, maybe I'm just, maybe I just, because I think differently, but I don't really see that. I just think, she saw the backlash, that came after the show and decided to open up about it. I think she did tell her story, but from what I can see, I don't see a woman that's hurt here. I see although she did describe growing up about her hair. Yes, she was real sensitive, but it sounds to me like she's over it. She doesn't really feel one way. She understands what she. It sounds to me like she understands why people feel the way they feel about what happened, but it doesn't sound like she's really personally affected to me. You know, in fact, well, I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, it looked like, I mean, in my opinion, she's taking it very well in stride.
Okay.
Oh, she might be taking it well, but she said it herself. She said how she felt uncomfortable at one point, basically when Sandy was carrying on. And she wasn't mad at Sandy,
but it sounded like she moved on from that.
Bro, remember she said, "I just wanted to get out of the middle of it," because they basically turned the entire segment into her being attacked by this guy, and then him turning into an asshole every woman that he passed by, and Sandy just went off on him. And I mean, I've been in situations like that before in my life when I was younger, where somebody was picking on me or messing with me, and somebody stood up for me, and the person who stood up for me went hard, right? And even though the attention was kind of taken off of me, it was still about me. You know what I'm saying? That's what she was saying. Because you can, if you go back and look at the reactions when Sandy was talking to the guy in the jacket, and look down the line and look at Rebel. Rebel kept this, like, you could tell she was like bothered about like the conversation that become about her and her hair. Like she just wanted to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because she felt uncomfortable about it. I mean, anybody feel uncomfortable when they being singled out in any situation. But like she definitely felt a way about it, man. Like she just not crying about it, like, physically, but she felt a way.
Well said. But just so everybody knows, I am Team Sandy. I think women need to stand up for each other. And don't get me wrong, I understand it was Rebel was saying, it was a much bigger thing, but they could have just said they very well could have just said, well, f you, girl. I'm just gonna get this band and moved on. I said what I said. It's good seeing you. Um, they could have done that. So the thing is that I like the level of solidarity in women because it keeps men like him, like Blue Blazer, are the type of men that want to isolate women from each other so they don't support each other. And like when he starts putting hands and feet or verbal hands and feet on a woman, women, what they don't want you to do is check back with other women in this, and this can happen with men too. But basically, in this situation, men don't like abusive men don't like when other women have when a woman has other friends because that's a check back. It's like, well, he hit me and left a bruise on my jaw. Should I go back home to him? Most women are going to go like, hell no, right? They don't want abusive men don't want that, and I'm sure you've seen either on my channel or on other channels or on in the news on how people go, wow, the man seems so composed. And then it's, they're talking about the demise of a young lady or the abuse of a young lady. And it's like, oh, we never thought so. So, and that's why it's so imperative to catch the the subtleties of um, of possible abuse. Let's put it that way. The subtle, because he didn't abuse anybody, but you can tell that, and they could tell. This is why he lost the room. Is that they could tell that he would go there. That he would go there, or he's gone there. If somebody said to me, hey bro, you need to rate Blue Blazer for $1 million, would you say that he's gone there? And what I mean by gone there is some level of harassment or abuse, or do you think he's been the nicest guy ever?
So
wait, let me finish and then you can talk, Darnell.
Yes,
what I would do is I would think about, well, what did I see? What what did I see? What is the most glaring thing? Let's ignore the hair. The most glaring thing is he gave none of those beautiful women on a show that is customarily giving out compliments. I mean, I'm talking from the host to the guys who come on the show to the ladies who are on the show. Everybody is giving out compliments. All the ladies gave him compliments. Even Sandy gave him a compliment. But he gave out no compliment and only responded with smoke. That's the problem. That's what, to me, I mean, we could go back and forth about the hair thing, but you need to understand the type of person this is. This is a person that in a room of beautiful women and in a show that at least establishes a certain decorum, he would not adhere to that decorum. He did not give one woman a compliment at all. That to me spoke volumes to me. That's what got me a little bit on the heated side, because it's like, okay, the hair was some that I gotta say it. That was some BS about that he threw out about the hair thing, because she's fine as wine in the summertime. Okay.
I think that he wanted his woman to be perfect, I think.
That too, that's a good pickup. The thing is that's another sign of a narcissist, is they always want everything and every woman to be perfect, which is impossible. And so, Betterman, that is a very, very, very good point. In fact, that's another sign you have to know. Do they want you to be perfect? Do they want you to be in the mirror for 3 hours getting ready to go out? Do they always ridicule you on this or that? Those are signs of narcissism. Those are things that need to be picked up. And the fact he did not give these women one compliment, sorry, I ain't cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I may respond, you guys get or pick up on that he could possibly be abusive or seems to be a misogynist, or possibly a misogynist, because he failed to compliment the women on the show. And he was asked a question, is she your type? No. Why? And he says, well, I like women with longer hair.
Okay. So I'll respond to that in a second, after giving Eden Adele and Susie Bear a shout out. And I said what I said, a shout out. Yes. Do you want to know why? It's not an emotional feeling too.
Okay.
Those are signs. And as I broke it down before, I think there's some things that you're missing. Number one, the decorum of the show is for compliments to be given. Now, I don't see how that would be hard with the lineup of women that are on this show, especially this segment. I mean, Rebel is fine as wine in the summertime. The woman next to her was just as fine in her own way. The next woman right there, if there's a lot of women men who like thickety thick women, she was on point. She was still beautiful. The woman that he said was out of shape was in shape. Okay, that's another problem. Okay, remember the woman in the black, the tall woman in black. Remember her?
The tall woman?
He literally lied to our face by saying that she wasn't in shape. And she wasn't. She was definitely in shape. I could tell she had some little biceps going on. Her legs were like, her calves were on point. Her legs were on point. She was in shape.
He just didn't like it where women called him out on him commenting on her hair. So he just insulted her, saying that, oh, this woman is not athletic. I like athletic women. And he knew that this woman
Sounds
is
like to me. I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it sounds like to me. I mean, how much more athletic can you get? Those women, they were all. I mean, right here, Rebel just came back from a run. Does he? Maybe he likes dudes. Maybe he wants them like with steroid muscle, those type of women. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe when he said athletic, he actually didn't really mean athletic. Maybe he meant a different shade.
I don't know how athletic. I'm sorry. I don't know how athletic he wants a woman to be, but he didn't describe what type of athletic woman that he wanted.
Sound like he wanted a bodybuilder.
Probably.
Because those women were in shape. I mean, I would say that really, actually, all of them were in good physical shape. Some were a little bit thicker, but there are some men who love thick women. So there's nothing wrong with that. Brina West in the house as well. Tevin's in the house as well. So the issue is that and it's ironic because the woman that he said was not in shape, he couldn't say anything about her hair. So he took a shot at her about saying, oh yeah, you're not in shape. And it's like, dude, that's a flat out lie. Look at her legs, bro.
He couldn't say anything about any of those. He couldn't say anything about any of them. Like after we all know what happened after the first, after the second woman, it wasn't Rebel. After he made that comment about her hair, and the second woman turned him down because of that. Basically, he saw right there. Okay, it's attack mode because every time it was so many different types of women up there. 3 of them were, in my opinion, drop dead gorgeous. The second one, Sandy, and then the tall girl next to Sandy. And I like Sandy a lot. I don't want no all in your face talking shit and down to you type of woman, but that's not what she is. She had the right to defend that to defend her other black woman down there for what he said to her. And one more thing too, you're right, DJ. The dude never gave not one compliment. Even Sandy told him that he was a good looking man that got it going on. Before she said she didn't like what he said. He didn't give one compliment to none of it. Everything was just you ain't shit, you ain't shit, you ain't shit, you ain't shit, none of y'all bitches is shit. You know what I'm saying? Basically what he was saying with a velvet glove on.
I think you're reaching on that, Dante. I mean, you can't go because he didn't give a compliment. You can't say, well, he was saying that they ain't shit and all this other stuff. I mean, that's just reaching.
So no, okay. This is what I mean right here. If this was some random event out in public somewhere, he just happened to see these girls out, maybe. But the intention of this show was to meet women. And he knew what he was doing. I'm sure before the show started, he seen the women somewhere, however it works. He knew what these chicks looked like when he walked out before they start popping balloons. Because it really, honestly, if he really didn't like none of them like that, he could have stood there as soon as he handed him the mic and said, you know what? I don't see nothing with none of these women. Y'all might as well all pop. He would have never made that comment about her. I guarantee you it wouldn't have went that way. He would have complimented girls. Everything would have went the way he wanted it to. He was in attack mode because he felt like he was by himself getting attacked by all of them, but he didn't want to start it.
I mean, again, I just don't see it that way. It's like, matter of fact, I have a sister, and she tells me this all the time. When she's out with her girlfriends, they're always giving compliments. But as soon as the person that they just gave a compliment to walks away, they'll say something about, "Oh, girl, I like those shoes," or "Girl, I like that pearl," or "Girl, I love your hair." And then as soon as she walks away, then the very same women that gave her a compliment, start, "Oh, girl, did you see her? Oh my God!" The very same thing.
That is reaching. We're not
No,
talking.
that's not reaching. That is reality.
No,
Where
I'm not saying it.
that
Wait. I'm not saying the story you just told is not true. What I'm
yeah.
saying, though, as it applied, is that it doesn't really apply to this situation here. Because
What I'm
the thing is
what
this
I'm
is that what I'm
mhm.
saying is this is that I just explained that the decorum of the show is that people give out compliments.
Even if they're
Okay,
fake,
whether
even if they're
whether
fake,
whether they're fake or not, it doesn't matter. It's a show. Remember. So
yeah.
he made a point to be so rude to not even follow the show decorum. That's what I'm saying. That he was so selfish about himself that he literally blew show decorum because of his
Mhm.
own ego. And that's what tells me he falls into a certain personality type or really a psychological breakdown, which makes him a red flag for women.
But I mean, to me, DJ Torch is like, when to me, what you're saying is like when a job tells you you're overqualified for this position. I mean, we
I
all know
understand.
what
I
we
understand
all
that.
know what that means.
Darnell, I'm sorry to bring you in, but we got to keep it in the context of what we're dealing with here. I understand your point of view, but in
Mhm.
this context, that's how they run the show because they
And she
know
was
that.
polite to him. I'm sorry.
You said what, Doctor? You said what? I didn't hear you.
You gotta remember, she was polite to him. So it's like this: you walk up to somebody and you
Mhm.
offer them something, right? You say, "Hey, how you doing? Want to go out? Here's my number." And then she's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just not interested. Thank you." And you're like, "All right then. I don't really like girls with short hair anyway." Like she didn't say anything about
Now,
you. You see what I'm
now
saying?
that's an insult. Now, when you put it like that, then I don't like short girls. Anyway, that's an insult.
Listen to what. Hold on, darling. Listen to what you said. We did this exact same thing yesterday. That's
Mhm.
called semantics. That's when you take something that means the exact same thing, you say it a different way. Now, yeah, one has a more negative kind of tone to it, but there's no difference between saying I don't like women with short hair anyway, and I just prefer women with longer hair. We say
That's just
one
that's a
style.
preference.
No, it's a preference, but why would you preference that to some? Okay, if you go up to a woman and she looks at you and she says, and you say, "Hey, lady, you look nice. Can I have your number? Maybe we can talk later. Go get some coffee or whatever." And she's like, "Oh, that's very nice, but I don't really like men who short is who short. I like taller men, or I like
Mhm.
darker skin men, or I like men who have more money." Like
Mhm.
when all she has to say is just no, like you are always going to find yourself in confrontational friction in life when you
Mhm.
don't know how to be polite to people. That's what I'm saying. So like this guy, he did that because he wanted to say something negative to her that would hurt her
Mhm.
without like actually going hard on her. And it didn't matter how light the touch was, it was still a hot touch. That's all I'm saying. I mean, everybody sees this.
I I mean, well, I do have glaucoma, so maybe I'm going. Maybe I could blame it on my glaucoma. But
Hey, man, you go get you some strawberry kush, dog. You know what I'm saying?
uh,
Well, Darnell, I have a great idea. Darnell,
what's that?
um, you should go talk to a professional about what I'm serious too. You should talk to a professional about this conversation we're having and see what that professional said. I'm
You,
serious.
you know, yeah,
I,
actually, I have an appointment. I have an appointment. I think it's second or third week of July.
uh,
Uh,
that,
and yeah, I could do that. That sounds fun.
I'm serious. You don't have to you can give them your point of view, tell them,
Hmm.
about the whole thing. I think you can learn a lot from this. I really do. And,
Okay.
um, and see what the person says, and then we'll have a conversation later about it. I guess in late June, July, or whatever. When you
Okay.
get back, I think it's going to help you a lot. I really do.
Okay, yeah, that's fair, and yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that would make that sounds like a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Hey, DJ, I wanted to ask you something real quick. Um, Now listen, I don't want to trigger any of the females or anything tonight, right? But if you have a show talking about this situation with Michelle and Barack Obama, I would really like to discuss that because that is like, I don't understand. And I know we kind of touched on it a few weeks ago, I think, but it's like, dude, I think it's something that we should definitely talk about because, like, just real quick, I'm not saying Barack is perfect. I don't even really, get into Barack too deep after I found some things about him. But when it comes to just being a productive black man that most women want in this world, like I believe he's one of those guys. Um, how much better can you get than Barack? Like seriously,
Right.
as a husband.
I
So
agree.
it's like, what does she want? He was the president of the United States. He wasn't neglecting you. He had to run the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a sacrifice he had to make for 8 years, but it's the president of the United States. Like, okay, that's all I had to say.
I understand.
But here's the thing. Everybody's gonna have marital issues no matter what. Women crave for attention, and when they don't get that attention, they will let their husbands know, hey, we have not been spending time together, and it's almost been a year. And we all know that work gets in the way and all that stuff, but it's a man's job to make sure that he gives his wife the attention because you guys are in a marriage and you want to keep you guys self company. So whatever is going on in their marriage, that's something that they already worked out. And for the most part, the whole divorce thing was a rumor that somebody just spread around. So I don't think that they're getting a divorce.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting a divorce, but I've heard a lot of her podcasts, and she definitely had feelings about what was going on. About, like
Yeah,
you said, about the attention and everything. And here's the thing: you're right about that. It's the job of both partners, especially the one that's doing the most work, to make sure everything is stable at home. But see, this is the sacrifice you make in certain positions. If you're the CEO of an international company or the
hmm
president of the most important country in the world, and it's only 365 days out the year, do you know that you can go to whitehouse.gov and they'll show you the president's public schedule, and the first lady too, all of them. This dude is doing more traveling than freaking Bon Jovi in his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like, the president is like 150 days for sure he's not at home. That's almost half the year he's not even at home. Like, it's it's going to happen. I understand with the children and everything like that, but first off, it's over now. They got time together. They spend their time together. But while they was in office, he was not trying to neglect her or play her on purpose. He has to be in these places. This is what I'm talking about. Like, at some point, what do you think would have happened if Kamala Harris would have got elected? The same thing. She wouldn't have been able to spend no time with her husband. And if he would have started complaining, women would have been like, what y'all talking about? She the president of the United States. She ain't got time to cook this dude meals every night. You got to see it both ways. That's all I'm saying. It's for women to see it. That's a very, very extraordinary job that he's doing. Like, I mean, that's it. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, Dante, to that point, I think as far as sorry,
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
uh,
Sorry.
you're fine. But yeah, I mean that's a very valid point. I mean, as far as the divorce rumor, I think it's just rumors being spread on the right. The major conservative news networks, are spreading it. But at the same time, I don't really think the podcast. Not that I'm saying that she is responsible for such rumors, but her podcast definitely isn't helping. Some of the things she says isn't helping. I think I said this the last time we were talking about this, but when she didn't show up to President Carter's funeral, Barack Obama was the only president that was alone. I mean, every other first lady showed up, except his, and she was on vacation. It's like,
I do recall there was a time that happened with Melania. I'm not. It obviously wasn't this specific situation, but to me, it's like, it's
no, Melania was at Carter's funeral
for 7, 8 years. She got things to do. Shoot, you think there's not? They didn't have something better to do.
She literally said vacation. I mean, DJ Twerk, this is a funeral, man. I mean, come on.
Wait. If she's on vacation, never mind.
Yes, she said vacation.
What was this?
Nobody's obligated to go to somebody's funeral just because he was a good person. Like, nobody's obligated to go.
But isn't that kind of like, because we literally just had a show on a man that just talked about, said, okay, I like women's hair, and everyone gets everyone gets a certain kind of vibe out of this guy, but don't anyone get a vibe out of Michelle? Like, hey, what's going on?
They're not even relatable. They're not even. I mean, I understand what you're trying to do because I know you a little bit, but that's Darnell. That's a definition of a stretch.
I don't see the stretch. I mean,
going from dating to presidency, yes, that is a stretch. I think I will get some agreement on that.
Well, I don't think it's a
deal. This is a deal. What I can do is this. I do have a live stream that I want to do on Jasmine Crockett.
On what?
On Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, the Congresswoman from Texas?
Yes. We will go over this debate you want to have then. But I want to try to keep this as close to dating as we can. And I promise you guys, we will do that. We will have, Betterment, Deontay, you guys can have a discussion. Darnell, y'all three can go up there and chop it up. After I do the Jasmine thing, we'll go into the Barack Obama situation. I can't even talk about it right now because I left them alone. I let them. They had 8 years that they of stressful work, and I do not want. I kind of like said, something. Oh, Femi, wait, hold on. Femi's back here. Okay. And I want to give them the full respect of giving them peace.
Okay, that's fair.
They want to be talked about. I'm not going to talk about them, but on that show, on the Jasmine Crockett show, and everybody keep a lookout for it. We will definitely go over that too because it is related, and it is a good thing to maybe go over how stressful a presidency can be. And I think it's something important because it really is. I mean, Deontay, really feels emotional about it. I mean, Betterman feels emotional about it. I think it's going to be a great show. So if you guys want to do that, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, if I could just say one more thing, just real quick on it. As far as the rumors go, I don't know how much I might be responsible as well. But years ago, there was a caller that called into Fresh and Fit with an Obama voice and said him and Michelle were getting a divorce. That was me.
Oh
wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just had.
I mean, I think you could pull off his voice pretty well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why you did it, but you can explain that on that day too. So Femi's here, so let's let Femi speak for a little bit.
Hey, Femi. Hey, DJ Torch. Is that Betterment?
That's Betterment.
Hey, Betterment. How you doing? Good. Haven't talked to you in a while. I know. I hope you're doing well, girl. Yeah, it's getting hot up in the sunshine state. I'm doing well. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Hey, rest of the panel.
Hello.
I'm not going to
Hello.
be up here long. I don't even really know what the topic is. I just like clicked you on, and I heard y'all talk about Michelle Obama, and it's like it went left. Oh, okay. So I just wanted to comment on Michelle Obama. I feel like she didn't come to the Trump inauguration because she didn't like Trump. There was a interview that she did before he became president, and she had already said that if he could become president, that she wasn't going. She had already said that in the interview. So I don't know why everybody I don't know why black people's first mind is like, oh, they're getting divorced because she didn't come to Trump's inauguration. And like, if it was Camilla, I feel like she would be there, but she'd already did an interview saying how much she despised Trump, how she doesn't have any respect for him, and that if he won, that she wouldn't come. So I don't think that had anything to do with getting a divorce. Now, I haven't listened to any of her podcasts because she's Michelle Obama. Anybody can have a podcast, but like now podcasts are just oversaturated. So I haven't listened to it. I don't know where people, say they're getting a divorce, but I heard somebody make a comment saying, what else do she want? He's the president. I don't know if men don't understand. Like, I don't know what him being a president got to do with like their relationship. If he's not doing what he's supposed to do in a relationship, like we're not in nobody's relationship. We don't know what's going on. So him being a president, y'all got to stop thinking as men like, oh, he's a CEO. I mean, like Jeff Bezos is just Bezos, and I think his first wife left him. Who else was super rich? Was it the Microsoft dude? One of them other dudes was super rich.
Bill Gates.
Was that Bill Gates? I think his first wife. Yeah, because I think she got a lot of money. She left him.
Yeah, but he cheated on her though, so that's why she left him.
Well, everybody don't leave because of cheating. Like people grow apart, or people, or I mean, anything can happen inside of their marriage. Like we can't sit up there and be like, because that's what black men tend to do to black women. Oh well. He's this and he's that. So why would she leave him? Y'all just be thinking like a woman's supposed to stay through anything. We don't know what's going on in her house.
Yeah, no, I was not really talking about their relationship where it comes to how they treat each other. More of so the 8 years that he was in office. That's what I meant when I said he's a president. I mean, if she was talking about how the type of job, and she said she gets it, right? She probably was just venting, but when you vent publicly like that, people take it the wrong way.
Well, we should be mature adults and not take it that way. Like we're adults, we understand that stuff goes on in relationships. So yeah, maybe she was venting.
When you present something to the public, then everybody has the right to put their thoughts on. That's why you put it out there.
Well, why black people's thoughts gotta be negative? Like you just said, she was venting. Why can't it just be venting? Why they gotta be getting a divorce because she venting?
I didn't say she was getting a divorce. What I said was, I'm saying when they were in office together for 4 years and he was the president, she had commented on how she felt like she had not had the same attention from him, and that they weren't together as much, and that their relationship wasn't the same because of that. And she just said that sometimes she just felt ways about it, and she was alone in the house with her kids and her mom sometimes. And I'm like, okay, I understand. I've never heard the first lady talk about this kind of stuff before. I'm sure they all go through it. It's just that remember what he's doing though. It's not like he's like saying, all right, girl, I'm gonna go to the bar with the boys tonight for about.
It don't matter. Neglect is neglect. It don't matter what you do. Just like some army wives, they feel like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's not draw army wives in that.
It don't matter. Neglect is neglect. It's okay.
So
If a person don't feel like they get attention, I don't think they're going to be like, well, I mean, she should be like, okay, well, he's doing this, but everybody's not going to be like that, you know.
So when a man gets orders to deploy to serve his country, that's neglect. He's neglecting his wife because he got orders to.
He is neglecting her. If she feel that way, that's neglect. If that's how she feel.
Tell me I didn't hear this.
Okay, wait, everybody. I have to stop this live right now for a very good reason, because I want to be able to edit something. So I'm going to stop the live, but I guarantee you, we will have a. Oh, it's too late. Never mind. No, it's something in the StreamYard. Never mind. You guys can talk, because something in StreamYard, and if you make it within the 2-hour limit, you can split up your videos and all do this cool shit. But after 2 hours, you can't, and it's too late because it's past 2 hours. So guess what? Y'all can rock out. I'm just gonna let you guys rock out. Do your thing.
Only 2 hours and 24 seconds. It's still too late.
I think so. I think so. Let me check. I'll check out StreamYard. Yeah, we're definitely having like I said, look for the live stream for oh, come on, James. Jasmine. There we go. And we can have this conversation for for the whole live stream. Cyber wants to say a few things before we go, and then we're gonna go fast because I'm gonna try to see if I can get that it makes life a lot easier when the videos are short.
No, I get that.
So let's see here.
Well, I'm gonna drop down since you're about to end. I just wanted to say that. That's all.
Okay, appreciate you coming through.
I'll try to come on the Jasmine stream. When is that going to be?
Probably either mid next week. It depends, or like Friday night.
Okay. All right, y'all. All right, better man. I'm gonna type something to you in the back chat.
All right. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So let me see here. But let me do a quick shout out just while we wait for Cyber to come up. So shout out to Eden Adele in the house, Miss RV in the house, Angela Reddick in the house, Brina West in the house. I said what I said in the house. Let's see who else is up in here. Of course. Ghost is in the house. Well, she probably has to sleep right now. And Brina, I got Jay was in the house. Insert alias here is in the house.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, how are you, Cyber?
Oh, why is
how you doing? It's been a long time.
How's your journey of life? You still staying strong?
Pretty Black Magic.
I'm trying. It's tough, but I'm this is one day at a time, right?
And Sugar
Okay,
Love.
how's my audio?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
okay, I'm out and about because I don't have my headphones or nothing. So I came to the party late. I have all I have is a box of beer, so y'all gotta fill me in.
I guess you could say it kind of shifted, but we started out. It was a continuation from yesterday's DJ Torch segment on Pop the Balloon. There was a blue guy by the name, we call him Blue Blazer guy, or Blue Blazer. He got rejected by women, and then he mentioned about her hair. There's controversy. Was that an insult? Why is he talking about black women's hair, etc.? I think
Yeah, I've seen that. I've been seeing that floating around. I haven't seen the video in its entirety, but I have been seeing it floating around. But we must understand that this pop the balloon thing is just for
entertainment.
In the grading of women, period. Is no woman is safe there. It's a platform where people can expose their misogyny, expose their tyranny towards the opposite sex. So
But wasn't the show created by? But the original creator of the show, she was a woman, I thought.
it doesn't matter. There's a hidden element of misogyny in it. It's in the form of a woman. So until we want to, if that's a great conversation that we should have. I don't think tonight we'll have that conversation. I would like for you guys to go do some research before we even have that conversation. But that is a great conversation to have. There's an undercoat of misogyny, and it's in the form of a woman.
I don't think that was her intention. I think a lot of times, especially when stuff goes viral, the intention that the creator had isn't really that doesn't really come to fruition. It goes to another place. Like when she first started that show, like if you go back and look at like the very first episodes and stuff, like everything was pretty cool. Then when you start hitting the third and fourth episode, that's when you started getting the pettiness where they was like, "Oh, your shoestring is hanging the wrong way." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it started to get out of control with the. Well, I don't like soon as the guy walks off, everybody pop a balloon because before he even talks, or as soon as the woman walks out, and they saw that this show was doing hundreds of thousands and even a couple of million viewers in just a week. And they was going viral because everybody was going to their Instagrams, and it just took over from there. And I just want to say, just to finish, and the creator of the show, she can tell them beforehand that this is not what she wants the show to be like. But when those ratings start going up and the money start coming through, like Maury, when Maury started his show, he didn't think he was gonna turn into no "You Are Not the Father" baby mama drama show. But when it did, it blew up and he ran with it.
See, but I'm not going to mix. I'm not fin to distort motivation and intention, right? Her motivation for starting the show was to start a dating show and to make money. The intentions behind it, I mean, we can't really say, but we can look at it. If you look at the entirety of the show, from all the shows up until the past shows until now, the intentions is very clear. She does not, I repeat, she does not step in and correct anyone, and she's a host of the show. So her intentions is very clear. Is to allow people to degrade other human beings. That's what it is. And women are on the chopping block.
Oh no, I agree with you on that. Yeah, because there are times where the guy will turn the girl down politely, and the girl will turn the guy down politely and say okay, but then she'll ask him another question like, "Well, why is it that you don't like her?" Like she's like leading them to try to say more. Yeah, because she saw
the way the show goes on, her intentions is very clear. Her motivation was money, but her intentions is very clear. She feels that she got her husband. She has her husband. She's safe.
So let me ask you this. I'm sorry. I just want to ask just a quick question. So do you feel like the show is derogatory towards women because it's like do you feel like women are being commoditized on the show? Or
I think it's derogatory, period. I think it is derogatory, period, because it has to do with Black culture. It's
okay. So it's a
offset. It's a whole new element of the negative Black culture. It's a whole new element, and it's being publicized and monetized via the internet.
So this is what I know I told y'all I was dropping, but I'm still here. So I've taken social media classes before, right? So like social media classes to like help you get up in the ranks, right? So one thing they teach you in social media class is actually what I can't see his name, but what he just said about Maury, like they didn't want to be that. So in social media class, you do what you're doing, right? So they tell you whenever you go viral, you repeat that. You keep repeating it, right? So like he said, if you go back and watch the show, like from the first, she been had a YouTube channel. She was, fashion and whatever, her life, whatever. That was her YouTube channel. And then when she started to pop the balloon, it was. If you watch the first couple episodes that nobody knew about, they were regular smuggler, the Love Boat type dating show, right? And that's what I was talking about yesterday. The men decided to come on this show and disrespect women because this is what the content tells them, right? So I cannot blame Arlette for. I mean, because I'm just in my mind, people that are on social media have taken a social media class. This is something major that they teach you. Once you go viral, you're gonna make a certain amount of money, and some people they're not gonna care. They're not gonna care. They're gonna keep going viral to make the money. So I never think that Arlette or her husband had intentions.
So not to cut you off, you said that you're not going to blame her, but in the same breath, you're saying that she's going to go viral because it's about the money.
I mean, yeah, I paid $500 for a social media class, and I used to work in a salon, and they used to be like, let's have a fake fight. Let's pretend like we're fighting and we're pulling each other's hair.
So my question to you, Femi, is: do you think that she's in the business of protecting Black women?
No, that's not what she's worried about. She's worried about her business.
How is it? But she's culpable then. She's culpable for the humiliation of Black women then.
Listen, I get what you're saying, but what I'm telling you in these social media classes is I'm not saying it's about Black women or about this or about that. What I'm saying is they teach you, once you go viral, you repeat that over and over and over. That's why y'all see a lot of people doing the same things. They do the same things as once they go viral for that. So that just happened to be the thing that she went viral on. So she's not going to tell them to stop if she went to a class and they taught her this. She's not going to stop.
Yeah, but we don't even know the amount of anxiety the women leave her show with. We don't know. I could assume it's a high percentage.
Well, those women should know better than to go on a show, just like those women should have known better than to call in the Kevin Samuels. I don't know why people go on those shows.
I would like to say as well, I'm sorry, you're totally right about that, because I can't just blame Arlette for everything. It's the same reason why you put the Surgeon General tag on the cigarette. Like, I've seen women come on Kendra G's show, and they be so happy when she pick up the phone. Oh my God, Kendra, I can't believe it. They can't believe it. But then when she start asking them about why, I'm talking about the ones that's like, that go viral with I got 8 kids with 8 different men and I'm pregnant at the same time.
See, but Kendra G has pushback though, sir. Kendra G has pushback.
Yeah, Kendra G.
Arlette has none. Arlette has none.
No. I'm saying that when women come on these shows, not just women, men, whoever, when you come on these platforms and you putting yourself out there, you are making that decision. Nobody's handcuffing these women to do this. They know what the consequences can be. Like everything you do, you have to know. You can't just be like, oh, I had no idea there was a chance that somebody would say something crazy to me, or I might say something off the cuff that I wasn't planning on doing because I got triggered. It's a part of the show. It's a part of what you're putting yourself out there for. And you can't blame Arlette for taking advantage of it. I mean, yeah, you want to here's the thing. Arlette never came out and said that she was about the empowerment of Black women and all this stuff like that. Like, if she was, she wouldn't be doing the show that she's doing. But guess what? Money is really rare to get for a lot of people at that level. And you see, she sold the property rights to her show to Netflix, so they could do their version of it, which sucked, by the way. But still, like, she's in this to make money first.
And like he's saying, you could be hot today and gone tomorrow. So like I said, I can't be mad at her for making her money, because tomorrow it could be somebody different and ain't nobody going to pay attention to her. So she's going to make as much money as she can while she's hot.
It's something else too. Man, you remember those the gold digger ones, right? I'm gonna give you this one right here. 'Cause this one I used to
Oh,
hate
the gold
this.
digger pranks, the gold digger
Yeah,
prank videos.
that, the gold digger pranks are, I think, more in line of what we're speaking about, where that's not fair to those women because when they first started the real gold digger pranks, those were
Yeah.
real women walking around just minding their business and people coming up to them on hidden cameras playing with them. Like, I remember the first one I ever saw, I thought it was funny as hell. Went up to this
Mm-hmm.
bad little chick walking out the gym. She looked good. He like, hey lady, how you doing? You want to be, She's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. And he like, okay, miss. So she walk away. He go hop in the Lambo, and she kind of like stop and turn around and look at him. And he roll the window down like, hey, what's up? And she's like, oh, this is a nice car, and oh, I can give you my number. He was like, no, you gold digging bitch. So I'm like, ha ha ha, that's funny. Then I watched the second one, and I'm like, wait a minute. This ain't fair. Women get hit on every day in public by all kinds of men, and most of these dudes, just to put it bluntly, is broke. Like, or they don't have nothing to offer them. If all you're doing is offering a woman sex, she can get that whenever she wants to. So, but how many times is a man with money like that gonna pull up on her? Not often. So I thought that was totally unfair for them to do that. That's why now the gold digger shows suck because they are IG models now. They don't do this to real women no more. Like because like one, the IG chick don't mind being on these shows because it gives them more clout, and it's disrespectful to do that to a woman. But that was terrible. What Orlando's doing, these women know what they're getting into.
Yeah, it's because they're getting on the because they're volunteering for the show. I think is what you're trying to say. They're volunteering. They know what the show is, and they're doing it to themselves. Unlike with the you're saying the first gold digger prank video was actually real and not staged. Those women didn't volunteer
They didn't.
to expose.
That was totally unfair to them. Like why? Like God damn! Like it wasn't fun. Like the first one was funny, and I would just thought it was funny, but then I put my mind into the second one, and everyone I said, this is not right. You can't just go up to him like, man, my sister showed me her inbox on Instagram a few years ago. My sister just a
Yeah, but
regular woman.
I want to chime in.
Liking that
You guys
stuff.
y'all very long winded. Y'all need to land in these planes, man.
Oh no, I haven't been saying anything. I was just trying to
But
understand what
we can
Dante
use
was
that
saying.
same logic towards YouTube, right? We have, but YouTube has YouTube policy community guidelines, right? Now I understand you guys are saying Arlette, she shouldn't be blamed. I'm not using that word blame. I'm saying she's culpable, meaning her intentions. She understood the lane she was in and where it can go. There's no checks and balances in the show. And then when other human beings like the other women speak up for themselves, that is what goes viral. That is the reason why it's perpetrated as, oh, black women are this, black women are that. Like black women are supposed to just be quiet and get assaulted and accosted with words. That's my problem.
Well, like I said, I feel like, so like I said, when I was at the salon, they were trying to cultivate this thing like, let's fight so we could go viral, right? And I didn't want to be a part of that. So I feel like these women know what these shows are and they have a choice to be a part of it or not. But a lot of, especially younger people that are younger than us, they're going to be a part of it because going viral could change your life. And there's some people that's willing to take that chance.
Well,
but going viral, it's like a whole spider web. The video itself ain't the end of going viral. It's the perception that it carries with it as well. It's all the extra videos that it carries with it as well. It's all the extra commentary that comes with going viral. This is the issue we're having.
And the consequences, right?
Yeah.
Right, Cybertron? Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. Especially Black YouTube. I don't know what it is, but it just, man, it's just crazy how people want to do the dumbest things.
What about the live? There are people who are being unalive because of this YouTube stuff. And this is the thing that we've been saying 3 years ago, that all of this talking this shit on these platforms, is YouTube culpable? But we can't say they're culpable because they have standards and guidelines that all YouTube creators are supposed to be under, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why people who violate these guidelines get their channels taken. So why is Miss Arlette, her show doesn't have any pushback? There's nobody talking against the show. Everyone is talking against the women who are being accosted. That's
I hear a lot of people talk against the show. There's a lot of people that talk against the show, but they still watch it, but they talk against it. In the comments, I see a lot of people.
And two, it's a money maker. In fact, she doesn't even own the show anymore. I think she sold it to Netflix. I think.
Yeah. Did she start on YouTube? What platform did she originate it off of?
She started on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So because YouTube was making money, they let it roll.
Well, I mean, I don't know if she's violating any guidelines. I'm not sure.
She's not violating any guidelines on YouTube.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's not. YouTube has a lot more stuff than her show out there, like way worse. It's
mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with her wanting doing this to make money when people have the choice to choose what they want to do.
So what is it? So what is it about all people talking about it now? What got people talking about this now? If her show been this way, why are people up on got their pennies in a bunch now?
It's just because like you said, something else went viral on the show. Next week, some dude do some weird shit, and then we'll be talking about that. It's just the point of entertainment at the end of the day. Controversy, unfortunately, and negative stuff is one of the biggest sellers in American society. And we are, even as Black people, are entrenched in American society. So that's really what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying from a standpoint, her show being the big money maker that it is, that's why I think, no one's really given it, the pushback, as you say. I mean, there's several content, like this was years ago, but there was several female content creators on like Twitch and stuff. One, she went by the name of Pokimane. She used the N-word. Like on live, on stream, got no pushback whatsoever. But the thing was, I think she got like a suspension of like 1 week or something like that. It was something crazy, and she was still making. But the thing was, Twitch was making so much money off of her. There was a different standard.
Oh yeah, and there was that girl Sniper SSS. Like she docked somebody like online.
Oh yes, yes, that's a good one.
And she never, and people still to this day be like, no, she needs to be off of YouTube. And like you said, it's about money. That's why they kept her on YouTube. But she totally docked somebody, like recorded their house and went to their house. And so it's different strokes for different folks on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the more money you bring in, the more you can get away with.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's say if DJ, I mean, not that I don't think DJ Torch would do this, but if he was running around doxing people and stuff like that, they'd cancel his show real quick. He wouldn't get the same. Yeah, he wouldn't get the same saving grace.
Nope.
I don't think that Arlette likes what goes on the show, but I don't think that she's going to speak up if she's making money. I feel that it's the audience fault, that because there have been many like success stories on Arlette's dating show, but you have to, and they bring the guests back and they talk to them and they talk about their dates. But for some reason, Black people aren't interested in the hookups. the people that make it. We're only interested in the crash outs. So that's our fault. Her show wasn't intended to be like that. And I'm not saying she wasn't getting no views when it wasn't like that, but the views went up to the millions once those guys started, oh, how many baby dads you got, and how many I don't like your weave. That's when they started going up in the millions. And I think sometimes she do say something. Like sometimes I think maybe her husband tells her to say minimal stuff, but sometimes the stuff that these guys say, you could tell she get an attitude. Like when a guy told the girl, like, "Oh, I don't like your red dress," and Orlette was like, "So you think she gonna wear this every day?" so sometimes she say something, but I think that maybe just as the host of the show, because I mean, like if like you were talking about Geraldo or Jerry Springer or whatever you were talking about, I don't think that they really get involved. Like they're there to host the show. I don't think they really get involved with the guests or what they're saying or tell them not to say that. Like I think that's just the way that a talk show or a dating show goes.
Yeah, a lot of times it's by accident. In fact, before Jerry Springer, before he passed away, he gave an interview about his show, and how it turned. He said originally when I came out with the show, it was not all this drama that you saw. It was just supposed to be a daytime talk show. The very first fight that happened on his show, that turned into a fight, it was not staged. Like that was not part of the show. It just emotions got high. It happened, and they started fighting. And somebody had the idea, "Hey man, let's keep the cameras rolling. This is good,"
Yeah.
And that's later on. That's when he adopted the model.
Yeah, you're right, because I don't ever think Jerry really wanted. It seemed like when people started fighting, he would get irritated, and he would like stand in a row. He didn't want to get involved. He just stand there and look. And I think that's kind of how Orlette does. She don't want to be involved. She's just like, all right, this is my job. I got to do my job, and but yeah, I remember them
So
fighting.
basically, you guys saying the society as a whole is desensitized and full of degenerates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah, this is America. Man, listen, America is off the chain. America and Europe, okay, like it's off the chain.
So
like,
how can you use the what's going on right now? Because right now they're trying to paint this black woman who spoke up for another woman, right? As how can you use that as a learning moment?
You said they're trying to paint her as what? They're trying to paint
the black woman as a masculine, combative, angry black woman.
These men, they just like to use that masculine. I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with what she did. She stood up for that woman like black women do, and these men just get on this show. They just get, or in the comments, oh, she's masculine because she's telling you about black women's hair. I don't even listen to what they say.
To a lot of black women as well who's ganging on it too.
You're right. I seen them black women, and I had to say something to them too. Like I think one of y'all said it earlier, or maybe it was yesterday when they said like a lot of women have fallen for this misogyny stuff. They have that same brain because they've been listening to Myron and listening to Kevin Samuels and all that, and I think a lot of women are like that. But I've seen a lot of women. Oh, she's messing it up for black women. She's messing it up for black women by sticking up for another black woman. I didn't understand that. But I'm a hairstylist too, so I would have done the same thing. The guy was talking about the sisterhood. I don't think it had nothing to do with that. I've had many clients that had a lot of trouble with their natural hair. So it is triggering to hear men talk about that. And I think that's where she was coming from. But I didn't see her as masculine at all.
You should start trying, since you're doing all these reviews, why don't you start trying to interview some of these people?
Me interview the people? Or DJ Torch?
Or anyone. Why don't you, any content creator, why don't you guys try to reach out and interview these people?
You talking about the contestants? The contestants?
Yes, of course. Yes.
I mean, you know who I wish I could interview? Them people that was going on Kevin Samuels, them women. I would love to interview one of them.
Yeah.
To see, why do y'all put yourselves through this? Y'all know that their goal is to embarrass y'all.
That's the wrong way to approach it. You interviewing them to see the emotions that they had when they were speaking. That's what we need to know, because of all of the false narrative that's been placed up on their their situation, their moments.
Right.
Like if I were to interview the young lady who spoke up, I would like to know what emotion you felt before you start speaking when you heard the words came out of his mouth.
Right.
What motivated you to use the words that you used?
You're talking about Blue Blazer?
Yeah, the woman who spoke up. And then when I watched it, you could tell she was kind of stuttering too. I can tell she wasn't as confident because she felt like she was alone.
No, I feel like she was very angry. And she tried to act like she wasn't. She tried to say, I'm not triggered. She was triggered. And I think she started stuttering because she was triggered. I don't know why she lied and said she wasn't.
She was triggered, but she was that's
what I said earlier.
It wasn't like she was just jumping on the guy for no reason.
How can a person be triggered for someone else?
I mean, it triggered me. Like, why is you? But like I said, I'm a hairstylist, so it triggered me. Like, well, another reason it triggered me is because I've been listening to men say for 4 years, "Oh, we want natural hair, black women. Why you want to win? Why can't you be yourself?" Blah, blah, blah. And then when you see a woman do it, I felt like he was attacking her. So it triggered me that he wanted to attack her. It triggered me that he wanted to humiliate her, and it triggered me that the first thing that he went for, because she was beautiful, he couldn't call her fat.
Guess what? But I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench at you, Femi. I believe she was triggered because she still had her balloon pop up, right? Until he said
she
that.
popped.
She popped it after.
Okay.
Her trigger was she had so much hope in this black man, and she got disappointment. Her trigger was disappointment.
No, yeah, I agree with that. She was definitely disappointed because she told him.
I think they all were.
Hey, Darnell, give me my snaps. Give me my finger snaps,
Yeah,
Darnell.
As soon as he said it, they all popped. As soon as he said it, was like pop, 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 and we was all laughing yesterday. So maybe they were all disappointed. Like, Dad, you fit the ideal looking at you physically, and then listen to what comes out your mouth. So yeah, you're probably right. They was probably all disappointed. Like, damn.
And that's what she said. She said you're a good looking man and you got it going on, but she went down on him, like, and like, yeah, she was stuttering because that was an unprovoked, unplanned attack that she had on him, which he deserved it. Like, it happens to anybody.
It wasn't a full thought. She didn't take her time and think about what she wanted to tell the man.
Because she was in the heat of the moment.
That's why she was stuttering.
She didn't have time to hit a pause button on life.
But she was way down the line. She could have waited to speak.
Yeah, but remember, every girl that he went past, she said more and more negative things about him, and it probably just made her more and more heated. I mean,
you're right.
But she still had her balloon, though, bro.
Okay,
she had never popped the balloon. Hey, Taurus, have you guys reviewed it?
Yeah, I
haven't watched it. Maybe because I think I haven't, because I haven't watched it. I'm not really.
Okay, so everybody popped their balloon like almost immediately right after. Well, no, let me break it down perfectly. Okay, when he first came on, and then he was in his little soliloquy or whatever you want to call it. You know, the one when they interview him before they bring him over to the ladies. At least 2 women popped their balloon. And then when they started the interview with Rebel, and then he said that hair comment, the rest of them popped their balloons. I don't think there was one person who had their balloon from that point on intact. So that's how I remember it went down. Basically, he lost the room literally in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I commend the ladies though. A lot of ladies, they would have just been, oh, he fine, and then they still would have tried to deal with him. But they were like, no, no. They've and see a lot. And the thing is this: a lot of people don't know, but these women have heard these. They heard these catchphrases before about hair and whatever else. And then they finally found out. I think it really hit home with me was when he got to the tall lady saying who was in shape and said she wasn't in shape. Okay, at that point it's like, okay, he's just here to attack. He's not.
Yeah, and why he didn't get dismissed? He's supposed to be escorted off the show.
He should have been. But they let these. I mean, look, they let, and that's another concern is they let literal criminals on the show. And the funny thing is this: I'm not being biased, but a lot of times the women have way better jobs than the dudes do that come on the show. If they really want this to go the way it's supposed to be, they need to really get men that are equally yoked with these women. The Blue Blazer appeared to be equally yoked, but the problem was that his psychological type was wrong.
It's all performative.
Basically. And he was a narcissist. In my opinion.
Definitely.
So, Torch, let me ask, is her show just for Black people?
I think I've seen sprinkles of other people on there, but for the most part, yeah. I see Netflix probably opening it up, though, later on.
Because I can see an interracial thing going on with the show as well.
Well,
it's definitely going to turn into that. In fact, last night I saw they got a Filipino version. They got it all throughout the world now. Everybody copied it. Like I was watching a Filipino version of the show yesterday.
Yeah, to me, it's just an enhanced version of dating apps.
Basically.
I just feel like it's just a humiliation ritual now, just because they got the old folk show, they got the homeless pop the balloon, they got all types of pop the balloons.
Did you say homeless pop the balloon?
Yeah, they got the homeless pop the balloon, and like they're sitting there, and they're all homeless, and the ladies will be like, "I don't like what you got on," and I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" Oh yeah, they got the homeless version. Everybody's doing it. They got it in every city, every state. They got the LGBT ones, and they do the same thing. Oh boy, I ain't messing with nobody with no haircut like that. And I be like,
these people are getting paid to go on these shows?
No, I think
some type of. Is it free? They going on there for free?
I think they're going on there for the opportunity to be viral.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it. Nah,
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
they get some type of money.
No, Cyber Dreams. It's the exposure. That's what they're getting. They're getting
but in Hollywood and California, right? You can go be an extra. They pay you like $50 just to be an extra at one of these like real like shows, like How to Be a Millionaire. They pay those people to go in the audience. So you're telling me that these people aren't getting paid?
When they do this show, they show each of the women and men individually in the beginning. They have all of their Instagram and social media tags in the little description part. And if you listen to all of them, when they always say what they do, a lot of them have outside jobs, outside of their regular job. Like Sandy, for example, the one that went off on Dude, she has a hair salon. They plug their hair salon, they plug their businesses, and if they go viral for any reason, everybody runs to their page, just like we all went to Rebels page, so it turns a lot of these people up. It's people on the show who get rejected, whose Instagram goes to from 5,000 to 100,000 followers in a day, because even though they might have got rejected on the show, millions of people are watching it and they like it.
And especially now with Aaron Plummer, he done been on a reality TV show. He's doing all these interviews with people. Even though he might not be the greatest example, people will want that and be like, oh, I can make out better than him. If I was on this show, I wouldn't be crashing out like him. I'm going to make it to the top. So I would never do this, but I see why these other people do it, because they're just reaching at the chance to get rich off of 30 seconds. Like the Haktua girl. She got famous off of a 3-second sentence, and that's what people are like searching for. I don't think they're caring about morals. I don't think they care about humiliating themselves. I don't think that they understand that this will be on the internet forever. I think they got a one-track mind, and it's viral.
Well, you guys remember?
So it's basically social currency. So basically, you guys telling me social currency is the new thing.
Yeah.
It's been that way for almost 10 years now. Yeah.
Oh, it's Dante. It's been longer than that. I mean, let's talk about Kim Kardashian. How did she get famous? She was Brandy's hairstylist. That was really it. And her father defended O.J. Simpson before he passed. But other than that, she was not who she was. She leaked the sex tape with Ray J. You know, her mom. I don't know what mom would even encourage something like that, but. You know, once they leaked the sex tape, she became famous. And not only that, but Karine Steffens went by the name of Superhead. You know, she wrote a book. She wrote a book. And ever since then, I think everyone has seen where, okay, I just do something infamous and get famous. I remember Barbara Walters interviewed Kim Kardashian. And Kim Kardashian was trying to pump herself up, and Barbara Walters just said, "You're just famous for the sake of being famous. You really didn't do anything. You don't really provide any value or contribute anything."
She said they didn't have any talent. She told them to their face they didn't have talent.
Yes, ma'am. She sure did. But I think but nobody cares, right? Today, nobody cares. Everyone sees. Well, the Kardashians did it, you know.
Well, that's where they get the term socialite from, because socialites have always been around in American and European history. And how you get to that level is, are you a person of attraction to a bunch of basically men of prominence, right? When you got a bunch of celebrities and royalty and government heads or whatever, and they're all seeking after you, and just for sex, even if it's just for that, right? You become a socialite. And that's what she is. She's just a modern day socialite. She don't have no talent. She can't act, sing, dance. She came up off of a sex tape, and she just ran it up. Like her mom, what's her name, Kris Jenner, basically kicked her daughters out. Like, and it's I mean, I don't know. If you look at it from a capitalistic standpoint, this is America. Jenner is the genius, right? But if you look at it from a moral standpoint, obviously that's terrible. You would do that to your daughters. But this is the culture that we live in now. Our generation and the past ones and the ones that's coming up under us, they don't care about that. Like when I was in high school, making pictures of girls and sexting was terrible. Now these girls are doing that shit at 14 and 15. So by the time they get in their early 20s, they don't care if people see them naked or if they're doing crazy stuff on the internet. Like it's just another day to them.
Yeah. And you know, the moral argument, my God, like, does anybody remember that show? I forgot what channel it came on, but it was called 16 and Pregnant.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
I mean,
and then if you research some people now, Darnell, they all got mental illness.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. You're right. They do. You know, no one sees the harm in the beginning. But that show, I don't think the creators of that show intended for it to be what it was. But you know, all the young girls that got inspired when they saw these pregnant, you know, girls, you know, high school girls wanted to get pregnant just because they saw a TV show. You know, and it's sad that this is American culture. You know, it's toxic as hell. You know.
Well, we make it like this. The TV.
Torch, we gotta go back to the drawing board then. Torch, we ain't doing stuff right.
Well, this is another thing too. Like, this is not our culture though. This is American, European, white culture.
Right.
And we have
You sure about that? Are you sure about that, sir? It seemed like it seemed like you throwing away the blame on someone else, man.
No, listen to what I'm saying though. We don't have our own. So we have built ours based off of theirs. That's what it is. Like black people don't have no culture that we know of to speak of, except for just being broke ass black people who came from slavery, always trying to
But
make it through the
if
struggle.
you research the behaviors of people, human behavior, this go beyond American history.
Yeah, it goes back to these.
When you think about culture, think about human behavior and what drives human behavior. When you think about culture, culture is nothing but a collective of people doing the same thing
and agreeing upon it. Yeah, that this is normal.
And if you keep breaking that down, it get broke down to basic human behavior.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that if you look at all the degeneracy that goes on in this country, you will see that it came from the culture that's dominant. Obviously, like we don't dominate.
Hey, but I gotta disagree with you, sir, because this behavior goes back it's in 2025 in Africa today. And it has nothing to do with colonization. It has nothing to do with colonization. It has everything to do with human behavior and what the human want to do when he want to do it.
I think it has to do with colonization because there's in those little pockets of people that have never seen white people before. They're living in a civilization and they're living fine and happy and free. I believe the Europeans.
No, that's not true. They have the same. It's tribalism. They have the same behavior. They just don't have modern infrastructure. It's the same behavior.
I just don't think they're going around in their tribes being petty and trying to humiliate.
What do you? But you can't attach what we Western pettiness to those type of people. It's still tribal. They still have tribal wars to this day. So you don't know what petty. You don't know what form of petty is over there.
I don't feel like tribal wars are the same as YouTube shows and humiliation rituals that came from NBC, ABC.
It's still tribal. Look at all the cults that have been created on YouTube. You got SMBY, what you call them? Saving Yourselves. You got the Red Pill movement. You have all these other groups of people. It's all go back to tribalism.
Yep. That is a good point. The Cyber Dreams, you are nailing it. You are nailing it. Especially, I like what you did there. You know, the tribalism, the red pill, you know, the black pill, all these different types of movements.
Yeah, even BWE, the divestment. It's all if you keep breaking it down to its simplest form, you're going to see human behavior.
Okay, well, what he's saying is that this human behavior was cultivated by these Europeans.
I disagree.
It has you could disagree, but I agree with him. I feel like they had a huge impact on obviously American culture, and this culture has an impact.
But
you
can't say that and then say in the same breath that people in Africa who've never been touched by white people, they have a form of pettiness. You can't say that in the same breath.
I said they don't have I said I don't believe they have a form of pettiness like we do.
Have you researched these countries that have these tribal people?
I've studied some, not all, but
they have tribes
that's why I'm thinking the way I think.
Humans. They have tribes in 2025.
I don't know what cannibalism has to do with being petty and like trying to break somebody's confidence.
How else do you hunt humans without strategizing and being petty?
I think we're talking about two different things: cannibalism and trying to tear somebody down because they got 8 kids by 8 different baby daddy. That's two different things.
Yeah, American culture has influenced the entire world, the entire first world.
You talking about Western civilization culture? No, it hasn't. In Africa right now, they believe that they can have all these kids and all these wives because they don't have infrastructure. Or Western civilization is deemed as something else, but it's still the same thing. It just branded different. It just branded different.
It influenced the entire first world. I said it's first, second, third world. The first world is completely been influenced by European and American culture. Like everybody, the only people. Think about it. The only
No,
people
I'm gonna go on mute because I listen. This is stuff that I've researched already. That's what you're saying is definitely not true. What you're saying is that in America, the behaviors of people in America is solely stems on Western colonization, and I disagree with that. Can you substantiate to me why you believe we talking about Black culture? Why you believe that that their behavior stems solely on Western influence?
I have to agree with Cyber Dreams on the. I'm sorry, Dante. My bad.
I'm sorry. What else have Black people in America been exposed to and been allowed to be exposed to from day one since we've been over here?
Well, the thing is, Dante,
white people.
Well, but the thing is, Dante, I think you're trying to reference Christianity. That was about the only thing.
I'm talking about everything, not just Christianity. I'm talking about the entire culture. We speak their language. We don't have no idea what ours were. We don't know. If I go up to a random white person's street right now and ask them, "Oh man, where you from?" "Oh man, I'm from Boston. I'm beyond that." "Oh, my people are Irish, Italian." Black people don't know where we from. That's what I'm saying. All we know is that we have been in America. We cling to it, and everything that we've been through and experienced was through the influence of white people.
Well, the only thing I think we were influenced by white people was really Christianity, and maybe you could say the concept of marriage. I believe they had the term
really? You think that we've been around all these people all these years, and the only thing that influenced was marriage and whatever else you said? Like we've been around these people for thousands of years now. Like okay, so back in European times, the pettiness was before TV, before magazines. They used to draw art pieces to humiliate women. They would if a guy was involved with a certain woman and he was an artist, he would paint her nude and hang her picture up where everybody displayed and she would be banished from that land. These people been like this. They've been like this. They came over here. I was not aware of that.
So let me ask you this then. You don't think Black people been like this? If you can say another nation of people been like this, you don't think Black people been like this?
If you no, because I haven't read anything like that. So if you can give me a book or show me some articles where Black people have been with the pettiness and Black people were creating statues of each other so they can make fun of it, I mean, I'll have to read it. But
you're talking about propaganda. You're talking about propaganda.
This not propaganda. What I just told you. This is actually what they used to do.
That's a form of propaganda.
What they used to do in Europe. They used to, before there was TVs and magazines, they used to paint people to humiliate them. And it was
that's propaganda. That's considered propaganda.
Well, where do we get this from? We got it from them. If you can show me them doing this in Africa, I know about the Ashanti tribe. I haven't read anything like that.
They're doing it right now in South Africa. Right now, they're doing it right now. You ever heard of the people, the Afrikaners? The Dutch people.
We're not talking about right now, because right now, the people in Africa have been colonized. So we're talking about before colonization. I don't have everything that I read. I have not read anything about Africans acting the way Europeans have. I haven't read.
Let me ask you this: you believe that the whole continent of Africa was colonized?
Most of Africa has been infiltrated by Europeans. Yes, most of the world has been. Most of the world has been.
The most resourceful parts of Africa have been colonized by either Americans, France, or England. Europeans, period.
The Mexicans have been. The Spaniards went down there with them. Asians have been. A lot of the world they have put their blood in a lot of people's blood. It's just the facts.
Are you guys familiar with what the Arabs did to Black people before white people ever touched Black people?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the Arabs. The Arabs are.
What's the Arabs' racial makeup?
Listen, because you made a statement said that Western culture, like, basically was so savage that they outrank all other nations, and I'm telling you, they don't even tip the scale what the Arabs did.
I'm saying, if you look at
And it goes back to my original point: human behavior.
Yeah, but if you go back the last 500 years until now.
I think you're Borging.
Yeah, you're Borging out bad, Dante.
Oh.
Yeah, you sound broken. But I mean, as far as the Arabs go, even the Arabs, even they were colonized. A lot of people don't know this, but they were actually controlled by the Ottoman Empire. And once the Ottoman Empire fell, the British and French, the Sykes-Picot Agreement, they secretly divided up the Middle East. So it fell. The French, some of it fell under French influence, some under British influence, and a little bit of the Italians.
Correct. So everybody has been influenced by these European people. What's the common quote? You're like the people you be around the most. And we all, because they couldn't stay in their country and mind their business and build, they had to spread their evilness all around the world and infiltrate different groups of people. So this is where degeneracy comes from. That's where it comes from. They were degenerates. If you read anything European,
I have to disagree with that.
They've always been degenerate. They didn't bathe.
So Western civilizations, why all these other nations are running and trying to illegally immigrate to these Western countries if they're evil?
So we don't know the answer to this question. The answer to this question is propaganda and the marketing that America was the greatest place in the world. That's what it was. It was the marketing. And when do we find out? We're slowly finding out through social media that America lied to us about Africa, that America lied to us about China. So it was the marketing that these white people did to prop up the United States. And now you see these other countries, now that we had the internet, they were like, I would never come to the United States. I know Africans that don't even want to be here no more. They're like, yeah, we thought this was something else when we came and we made some money, but we're going to go back home. It was the marketing. Just like
America had the freest, most open, and also
but it's all Western countries. They have this problem with immigration.
All Western countries, but I'm saying that the reason why they want to come here, think about this, is even what's going on today. Why wouldn't you want to go to a country that is specifically offering you asylum from almost anything you can think of, and they're going to give you housing, government benefits, food vouchers, health care, it's like education, clothes, and you came in here illegally at the same time while you did it. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And the laws over here are not as strict as some other countries are. There's countries out there, they catch you stealing, they chopping your hand off, they catch you.
Saudi Arabia does that.
Yeah, it's countries that over here in America, if you get caught drunk driving, they just gonna suspend your license the first time, party plates, whatever. You get caught drunk driving, other countries, they putting you in jail for 10 years. Ain't nobody drunk driving, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a complete. I mean, you see what's been happening over in Dubai. Some of these Americans have been going over for vacation and finding out you can't even raise your voice in some of these places, and they're arresting you over there. Like,
you think that's good or bad?
Now, I don't think that's cool, but at the same time, I don't want to go to the Waffle House at 2 a.m. and try to get me a goddamn omelet and everybody twerking on the tables and screaming and fighting. So it's like they don't want none of that behavior happening over there.
When I went to the Bahamas, they were like, you ain't got to worry about nobody stealing from you, because they're like, if somebody steals from you, they're going to be in jail for 15 years. And they're like, our jails aren't like American jails. So they're like, nobody's going to steal from you. So I don't know if it's good or bad. Like, maybe it makes a country safer when the punishment is that harsh. Maybe it prevents a lot of crime. I don't know.
Yeah, man, have you seen, I'm going to tell you what's crazy. What I've been getting into the last year, which I never thought, is these police body cam videos, right? I'm looking at this. Some of these people who they be pulling over and getting into trouble with the law, they be like, man, what's my bond gonna be? Hurry up. You know, like they don't even care that they about to get arrested. Like, you know what I'm like, because they know I'm just gonna bond out, go do this. I mean, I saw one where these two chicks had stole from Walmart 2 days in a row and got caught by the same cops. Like, and they still got out. Like other countries don't deal with that shit. Like, especially these modernized first world countries, they don't deal with it. Like, over here, you can get away with a lot of that shit, man. Like you. I always say in America, you can do anything you want, legal or illegal, as long as you don't get caught.
All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and shut it down.
Oh man, it was getting good, DJ. It was getting good.
I know, but he probably sleepy. He been on here 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what. Okay, 30 more minutes.
You sure? I'm gonna drop you guys. It was a pleasure. Yeah. I gotta drop my phone about to die because I'm not even at home. I'm out and about. So.
All right.
It was good talking to you, Tyler.
All right, Phoebe. Darnell, stay up. I don't know who else is on here. They didn't say anything.
Better
Dante.
No, not Dante. It's somebody else on here that it's not saying.
Yeah, it's me. Betterment.
Oh, what's up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You sleepy too, Betterment?
Wait, yeah.
I was just listening to the conversation. I really didn't get a chance to jump in, but it's okay. You know, you guys went far off the topic for a minute, though. I didn't even know what the topic was. I just jumped up here. I didn't even know. I just heard them talk about Michelle, and I said, "Let me get up here." We were talking about the balloon show that you guys we were having a conversation earlier before we talk about degeneracy in other third world countries and all that stuff. But yeah, we were talking about the Papa Boom where this man was commenting man comment on this woman's hair, saying that her hair was too short when it was in her natural state. And it caused a lot of controversy over that with people in the comment section saying that it's this man's preference to prefer women with longer hair. But if he preferred women with longer hair, why didn't he just go for like Hispanic women and European women, Indian women that actually have longer hair? You don't have to, worry about women with shorter hair. You know what I mean? But he just went on that show to humiliate the Black women that were on there. I agree with you because some of them girls look good. And I was like, he's dissing her. He's like, I would like somebody's body better than that. And even DJ Torch yesterday was like, she looked like, what is you talking about? That girl look good. So right. I do believe he just went on there to humiliate women because I'm like, wasn't nobody fat on there. That one girl might have just been a little thick, but other than that, nobody was fat on there. He said he was a personal, like DJ said yesterday, if you a personal trainer, if you get people fit, what's wrong with this girl? You could help her lose 20 pounds or whatever. So yeah, he just went on there to humiliate women. Yeah. It's like DJ Torch said. That woman was pretty fit, and he told the woman, "Oh, she's not fit," just to humiliate her. I'm just like, dude, are you blind? I looked at the clip that he was saying that the woman's hair was too short. And I looked at the woman. I'm like, these women look fine as hell, and this dude is just sitting up here humiliating them. And I just had to shake my head. Like, he had a purpose of going on this show to humiliate these women.
Well, I was the voice of dissent on the topic, but I just, it's like, I mean, when you look at this Pop the Balloon show, I mean, how many, it's just one of these things that it's just, everyone has preferences, right? And, you had, matter of fact, MTR actually did a segment where he did several Pop the Balloons. He reviewed several Pop the Balloon shows where the man literally just comes on, hasn't even spoken a word, and every woman pops their balloon. Every single one hasn't even said a word, wasn't derogatory, nothing. They pop, you just hear popcorn.
Okay, it happened to women too. It happened to women too.
Yeah, but here actually it doesn't happen too often to women. It's usually when it's the guy that comes on. That's typically when it
Let me
happens.
tell you why it don't happen to women, like you say, because a lot of guys like to hold their balloon so they can humiliate the woman before they pop it. But I've watched a lot of times where a woman just walk in a room and they pop it. Oh, I don't like your outfit, or I don't like your voice. A whole bunch of people pop because of that. But sometimes
there's
guys hold
definitely been a few.
I've heard guys say, I just held my balloon because I wanted to say this and this and this and that to her. So you making this girl think that you holding your balloon because you like her, but they really just I mean, I'm just going to tell you, everybody's just now in 2025 is waiting for a viral moment. It's sickening, but that's what people want. I get it because it could lead to money, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's sickening now because nothing's authentic anymore. I don't think I never had a conversation with a girlfriend to say, hey, I went on a date with this guy and he was acting like this and acting like that. No, they're doing it on it. But I feel that it's bad because it's giving people a bad impression of dating when that's not really dating. This is just a internet show, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's just an internet show. It's not real dating. You know, I mean, but my only point in bringing that up with the man coming on and all the balloons pop before he even speaks, it's like, is that considered? Would you consider that to be rude or derogatory or shaming the guy? Again, he hasn't even said a word. I haven't even gotten a chance. Is that derogatory or is it just a preference?
Like I said yesterday, if a guy's giving off a sassy demeanor, women is gonna pop because don't nobody want to deal with that. We've been
okay,
there.
but you haven't said a word. You haven't even introduced yourselves, and then all the balloons pop. And is that
it's
preference?
Called intuition. It's called intuition.
Yeah. Remember when everybody popped on Aaron? When Aaron first got out there, everybody popped on him, right? And everybody was mad at the women, like y'all all popped on him and didn't give him a chance. But then months later, we found out that he was incarcerated, that he had a baby's mom that he lied about, that he was beating on women. So yeah, like DJ saying, it's an intuition thing.
Well, no. When it came to Aaron, they didn't pop as soon as he walked in. It was when he started talking. That's when they started popping. But and when I can understand, because I mean, the way the man was talking, he started out passive aggressive, then turned aggressive, and we all saw that.
Well, it was that one girl that didn't pop, and I was like, and why didn't she pop? Like, you like a man that's talking to women like this? But I guess they had a date, but it didn't work out. But I thought that was weird that she didn't pop.
I think
I thought it was weird.
I think it's because she wants to be, because some women do that just to think they're different and stuff like that. But as soon as they ended up going on a date with the guy, he's not what they expected him to be. If correct me if I'm wrong, but some women do that out of desperation.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. There are some women that, but I'll be honest with you. Like, as far as the women that I see on the show, I think the demographics are typically they're usually in their 20s, early 30s. I don't see where these women should be desperate. I mean, the ones that come on the show, they're all very, I think 9 out of 10 of them are all attractive, from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, though, too. So I don't. But again, I don't think it's desperation.
But some women do it because some women want a man.
But is that? But usually,
they want to prove that they're different from that woman. It's from what it is.
Okay. Hey, that's a fair way of looking at it.
That made her go crazy to me.
But we have ladies on the panel. I mean, when you ladies were in your 20s, let's say 21, were you ladies thinking about a man?
Yeah, of course. Like nobody like knows my story, or if you ever hear me saying that I was looking for male approval in my 20s because I had low self-esteem. I didn't know who I was as a person, and I was just
Okay.
seeking validation in my 20s. But as I got a little bit older, I realized that the mistakes that I have made, and that I had to learn from them and not to do them again.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So I have been where these women are right now. And
Mm,
to be honest with you, most women do not get out of the desperation stage once they get older. It just, gets worse.
mm-hmm.
All right, everybody.
No, I'm sorry. DJ.
I'm gonna go ahead and I am officially gonna shut it down. Um, Obviously, keep a lookout for the next Jasmine live for the political thing, and then I'll probably have have an idea of. I got another. The Lion King sounds like a good name for a dating a relationship dating slash.
You gotta do the Obamas, man. That is gonna be a show.
Yeah,
But I think Jasmine Crockett is a good topic too, because she been more open ever since she became a congresswoman.
Mm.
And especially when Trump got into office, she's been very outspoken. So I would love to have like a topic, on Jasmine
yeah.
Crockett.
I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna put them both together, the Obama situation or whatever, and so we can squash that, and then Jasmine, since it's all kind of like in the same circle of politics, I think it'll go pretty good. And
Okay.
then
Just real quick on the Jasmine Crockett. Is there anything in particular recently going on with her? Because I haven't heard anything.
No, I think. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, I thought she had she. I mean, it's easy to find stuff on her because she's doing so many. I mean, if you talk about somebody going into the lion's den, it's Jasmine Crockett.
Oh
And
yes, absolutely.
so basically, yeah, what I'm going to do is go back some of her most recent one. I thought she at least there was a video that said that Jasmine went up against Melania, and Melania fainted or something like that. But I don't know if that was true because I could not validate that. But
Is there
we're gonna
any
look
like
into.
reference video on that?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I've
forgot
never
the
heard of
name of it, but yeah, there was something where it might have been a story, just like a story.
that.
Jasmine's so popular. She's probably the number one most popular politician right now. Period. I
I
don't know.
think it's because she called that one woman bleach blonde
Yeah,
bad body.
Bad built body.
That's how people.
and she wasn't lying either. She
Mhm.
wasn't. She
All right,
wasn't
y'all.
lying.
I'm gonna drop down. Thanks, y'all, for DJ for letting me up. And
Oh, very welcome. In fact, let's just. I'm gonna hit the button right now because I need to do some things before I go to sleep.
okay, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, everybody. Have a
Betterman,
good
I'll
night.
talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.